Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Darling Stadium for tonight's game between the Bookers of Booker T. Washington and the Hampton Crabbers. This is the Group AAA Division V Eastern Regional semifinal game. The winner of this game will go on to meet the victor of the Phoebus Woodside contest being held tonight as well. The Bookers come into this game with just a 5-5 record, having won their final game of the season in order to get into the playoffs. They did lose to such heavyweights as Granby, Deep Creek, and Oscar Smith. Oscar Smith being a Division VI team, and they are 10-0. They also lost to Warwick, 18-12 was the final in that game. They do have some power coming into the game. This James Van, a left-handed quarterback. The Crabbers will have to be aware of the fact that he'll be a little different from the regular right-handed quarterback. I'm sure they've studied him in films and will be all set for that. But he's got 18 touchdowns, and this is a rather strong passing team with the running attack being done by Donnell Lancaster, who has about 486 yards on the season, not nearly those as impressive as the Hampton squads. But right now we're going to go down to the field as Bob has head coach Larry Stepney of the Booker T. Washington Bookers.
Thanks, Tim. First of all, Coach, congratulations making to the regionals. I know that's always a goal that you set for yourself, but you've got some mighty fine young players. And first of all, I want to talk about your young quarterback, just a freshman, but he plays better than a freshman.
Yes, sir. He plays much better than a freshman. He's a kid that I heard about in the recreation leagues, and I couldn't wait until he got there. When he got there, first time he came to us, he was an 8th grader. And one of the coaches kind of disappointed me. I said, wow, we got us a quarterback here. And they said, but Coach, he's just an 8th grader. But since he's been here this year, he's truly shown me that he is a hell of a quarterback. And he's a kid that can throw the ball. He's a field general, and he's a smart kid, and he's an athlete also.
We want to talk about his name. His name is Van.
Name is James Van, right, James Van. And father's also named James Van, but James Van Jr. will probably be one day one of the best quarterbacks in this area.
You know, I talked to Tommy Riemann and some other coaches on this side, and they're real high on him. But you got some other players that have to support the cast, and you got a young man that only punts, runs back, punts, and you said he's your all-around player.
My all-around player, yes, Don Carey is probably the most versatile, our utility man. Don can punt, Don can catch punts, Don is a receiver, Don's a running back, Don's a quarterback, Don can do it all. And we're just excited to be over here tonight, and we know if we're going to be the best, we got to play what the people have declared to be the best this year. And we have nothing to lose, but everything to gain.
And that's the way to come into it. Your kids got to be loose. What do you expect from Hampton tonight, Coach?
Well, I expect them to play a power game. When they and that's what they've been playing all year. I mean, it's been McPherson, and then up top to their wide receiver, Nolan. And I expect them to do the same thing tonight. I don't expect Mike to change his game at all for us.
No, I don't think he will either.
I wouldn't change. I mean, it's been working for him all year, and I wouldn't expect him to change.
But Mike always says, you dance with the gal you brought to the prom.
That's right. Watch your age. I tell you, you get in trouble after the dance.
Good luck tonight, Coach.
Thank you, sir.
Good enough. Let's go back up to Tim.
All right, thank you, Bob, and thank you, Coach Stepney. Done a great job over there. This young freshman quarterback, James Van, a lot of people talking about this young man, so we'll have to see how he'll do against the vaunted Hampton defense. And talking about their defense, the Crabbers coming into this contest averaging just 5 points on defense per game, less than a touchdown, while averaging on offense 42 points per game. So they have a very potent offense, and, of course, they have the ever-strong defense to go back to that. Tracy McPherson, terrific season, almost 1,600 yards on the ground. He's got 30 touchdowns. Tyrod Taylor's just done a phenomenal job passing the ball. Nolan has done a great job catching it, and the defense has done their job. So it's going to be a real tough contest for the Bookers. Right now, we're going to go back down to the field. Bob has head coach Mike Smith of the Hampton Crabbers.
Thanks, Tim. First of all, congratulations, Mike. 10-0. First season's over now. We're doing the second season with the playoffs.
Well, I don't know if first season's over or not. We gotta count them all as one. We're it's nice to have won the district. A big game for the kids tonight. Yes.
I was talking to the other coach, and he was complimenting you on your defense. And I look at your defense, and you got 4 linebackers back there that just do a tremendous job.
They've played well this year because we've had some people up front that played well, I thought. We played pretty good so far, and we'll have to play well tonight. We'll have to defend the pass well tonight. Kid throws the ball well. They've got some good receivers. So.
That's what, I look at some of the films. I was talking to Danny earlier in the week. I went by to see you. You were out doing your job, evidently, because I couldn't catch up with you. But this young man has got a pretty good arm. He reminds me a little bit of Brodus.
His delivery is a lot like Brodus, I think. He's not as big a kid as Brodus, but he's a younger kid. Well, I guess he's an older kid, but he's a freshman in high school. And he throws the ball well. Got great delivery. Three-step drop almost on everything. Everything's time and pattern mostly that he throws.
Okay. Anything different tonight? Just going to go out there and do what you've been doing?
I hope we can do what we've been doing.
You've been doing good, Mike. Good luck tonight.
Thanks, Bob.
All right, let's run back up to Tim.
All right, thank you, Bob, and congratulations to Mike Smith. Another Peninsula District Championship. It seems like just keeps happening year after year. Tonight's game is brought to you by Zooms, with 14 convenient Peninsula locations to serve you. And it's brought to you in part by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, where Nancy Staten is the manager. Well, Bob is rejoining me here in the booth. I'll just give you a chance to catch your breath.
Yeah,
but
I'm ready.
It's kind of funny because I wasn't sure what you were going to ask the coaches, but you actually talked about the same things that I did, which is the passing attack of the Bookers. That's going to have to be what got them to the playoffs.
Right.
That's what they're going to have to do tonight. And so how is the Hampton defense going to defend against that?
Well, they will put pressure on the quarterback, number one. And I don't know how agile he is, because that I didn't find out. But he's had 18-plus TD passes, and as you mentioned, over 1,600 yards. So he's done a credible job for a freshman. But you've got to be able to protect him. And if you don't protect him, he's not going to be very accurate. Hampton will put some pressure on him. I talked to Mike Smith about his linebackers, which do a good job, but his front line on defense do a good job. You mentioned only giving up 5 yards a game.
5 points a game.
5 points a game. It's incredible that happens in high school, but they are that good a defensive team. But I thought that the coach from Booker's was very complimentary on Mike. He said 2 things in the interview. You got to be, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. But the one that I thought I liked the most was he says, I told my kids, you're going to find out what a disciplined football team looks like when you come over and play Hampton tonight. That's a tremendous compliment, I think.
Well, it's just totally accurate, because that's what we have talked about year after year after year is, in high school, you got your kids that come in, they graduate, they move on, you have to replace them. But he has such an entrenched system in place that these young men coming into the program know what's expected of them. They know the procedures. They already know, because they try to start this process early in the rec leagues and so forth. So when they get here, they know what's expected of them. And if they're not ready to give what's expected of them, they don't make the team.
That's right. And the coaches don't pull no punches. They treat everybody the same. And you got to like the way that they have been produced winter after winter after winter. And what is it, 26 years, 25 times in the playoffs? That's just unbelievable, isn't it?
It absolutely is. We should have a good game tonight. We're looking forward to this game. It will be the first round of the Eastern Regional Group AAA Division 5. The winner will play Woodside or Phoebus next Friday night.
And I'll protect on that one if you want me to. I think we'll have a Hampton Phoebus game next week.
Well, this one should be a good one, and hope to stay tuned for it. And back here at Darling Stadium, as you see the captains for the Hampton Crabbers meeting at the center of the field with the captains of Booker T. Washington, and we're going to listen to Dave Stollard, the referee, do the pregame ceremony. I'm not sure we can hear him. He perhaps doesn't have his mic on. So we'll lip read Bob and tell you that he's saying, have a good game, guys.
And if you got any trouble, come to me.
Right? Do not start anything with the other guys. We'll take care of the business.
There you go.
So they're going to have the coin toss. We'll see who's going to receive first here.
It looked like Hampton won.
Yes, they will receive. I was actually expecting they would defer.
I would
So
too,
I'm
but-
wrong on the very first count right off.
Oh, that's damn! I can't believe it. Listen, I was talking to Coach Stepney over there, and he was real, very upbeat because they got in the playoffs with a 5-5 record. But he's got this number one, Antone Thompson, who has got one of his wideouts that has 16 touchdown receptions this year already, and of course, Van, that's his most favorite target. We got the refs.
Yeah, the officials, Dave Stoller is the referee, umpire Andy Rutherford, Ron Wyatt is the line judge, Mike Hextall is the other line judge, field judge is Frank Herndon, side judge Warren Hall, and John Patrick is your back judge, and Tim Ewing is the clock operator.
Tim Ewing. Hey, he just got back from North Fork.
He did. He was down there
it
for the
South
reunion.
Fork? Which fork was that?
It was South Park.
South Park. I knew it was one. Sound something.
He's Cartman's best friend.
We will pick a player of the game from the Hampton team tonight, and that player will receive a shirt. It comes from Tidewater Team Sports, your one-stop sports headquarters for screen printing, embroidery, and uniform and apparel. Call 594-0411. Talk to David Chubb or Terry McNamara.
All right, we are underway. Taken by the Crabbers, dropped at the 14-yard line, but regained, and the Crabbers coming to the near sideline with some good running room. That's Jacoby Fenner returning the kickoff. So the slight bobble on the handoff, or rather the reception of the ball was of no ultimate consequence as he returns it all the way out to the 35. Started at the 9. Looks like about a 26, 24 or something like that. 24.
24, you're on it.
All right. So the Crabbers will have the ball to start. Those of you who may not be familiar with high school rules, there are 4 12-minute quarters versus the 15 minutes that you have in college and pro. The rest of the rules are pretty much the same. Right off the bat, Tracy McPherson and he fumbles the football. Had a first down and plenty, but it looks like the Bookers may have recovered. Let's wait and see.
The ball was between one of the Bookers' legs, and I think he didn't come up with it.
He's got it now.
He did come up with it.
But no official. Yes, now it is. So an auspicious start. Tracy McPherson fumbles the ball after picking up good yardage, and it is recovered by the Bookers, so they'll have it at their 44-yard line. And here are the Bookers on offense, the starters.
Ryan Ballin, senior.
DeVario Graham, senior.
Milton Morris, junior. John Hassett, sophomore.
Carlo Faulkner, senior.
Adidas Arrington, sophomore.
Tyrion Conyers, junior.
Antoine Thompson, junior.
Jason Baskerville, senior. Donnell Lancaster, senior.
James Van, freshman.
And back to the live action, Donnell Lancaster, the gentleman you just heard introduce himself, was the ball carrier and picked up about 3 yards out to the 46, a little more than the 46-yard line.
Yeah,
So
give him the 46.
Give him 2 yards, as they gave him his original spot at the 44. So it's a 2-yard gain, second down and 8 for Booker T. As on the very first play from scrimmage, the Hampton Crabbers have turned the ball over. James Van, the quarterback, under center. Left-hander throws in the flat, got a man wide open, completes the pass for first down and then some, all the way down to the Hampton 39-yard line. That was Antoine Thompson.
The young man I spoke about earlier has got the 16 touchdowns.
Now here are your starters for the Crabbers on defense.
That's the Crabber, 40.
Daniel Carroll, senior. Dominic White, senior.
Brian Alsink, senior.
Tim Richardson, junior. Sam Green, senior. Sharon Childress, junior.
Ernest Harvey, senior.
Jacoby Fenner, sophomore.
Tony Adams, senior.
Jeremy Kroon, senior. Todd Nolan, senior.
And back to the live action, 1st and 10, gain of a couple of yards
And he
by
was
Lancaster.
hit by Dominic White, number 16, coming off of that tackle spot that he plays over there, Tim.
I think Dominic is 66, right?
Yeah, 66. He's the first one to hit him.
Gain of a couple of yards for the Bookers, down to the Hampton 38-yard line. Booker T with a 5-5 season record got into the playoffs with a final game victory. And you heard their coach Stepney said
Well, they're playing way off that wideout.
They've got to beat the best if you're going to be the best. This is Van on the rollout. This is a pure running play for the quarterback, and he is driven out of bounds. Let's see where they mark his
about 35. It looks like.
And that's where they will mark him actually close between 35 and 34. So it'll bring up a third down for the Bookers. Just underway from Darling Stadium, Tim Cole, Bob Hintz, and Mike Hauser tonight.
Go ahead.
Just mentioning that's who we beat.
Well, I was watching that last play, and the defensive back that was guarding the Thompson kid, number 1, was 10 yards off of him. I'm very surprised. Now they got a double wide out, and we're going to get a timeout.
So the Bookers will take a timeout, their first of 3 here in the first half. It comes with 9:40 left in the first period with no score.
Zooms has given an award to the senior football player on each one of the Hampton's teams this year who has demonstrated academic excellence. These players be awarded a plaque at a school board meeting after the season. We'd like to thank David Allen and Zooms for their continued support to WHCS and our student athletes. Talk about a crew a little bit tonight. Susan Bowers is under the weather, and we sure hope she gets better. On cameras, Nathaniel Braxton, Ron, ESPN Baton, Mike Nowinski, and Monique Bird.
Who's doing the high camera?
Monique Bird.
Oh, okay.
Graphics and animation, Andy Foley. Slow motion instant replay, Andre Mattingly. Camera controls, Sarah Myers. Production assistant, Suzanne Higgs. Audio chief engineer, Don Chiraus, and big guy, director producer, Scotty Bowers.
Third down and a long 4, and we've got the ball on the ground, and who has it?
Hampton's got it.
I was looking for a flag because it looked like there was some early motion there, but now the teams have traded turnovers.
I'd like to look at the replay because it looked like to me that the quarterback moved.
Well, let's watch it again. Let's see if we can see what exactly happened. No, that's not Bob Hintz. Let's try. Well, I guess we'll see that some other time. Let's see if we get a chance to watch that again, if we do have it. In any event, Hampton has the ball at their 36-yard line after the fumble. So on the second offensive try of the night, McPherson gets the call again. Holds onto the ball this time, but only gets a couple of tough yards. So did we have that play, Scotty, by any chance?
John Hazard, the defensive lineman, making the stop. 6'1", 245 junior.
I guess we don't.
We're going to get Hampton offense pretty soon, I guess.
I don't know what we're going to get. Second down and 8. Tyrod Taylor keeps on the quarterback draw, and he has the first down and then some. Tripped up as he crosses the 45-yard line. In on the stop for the Bookers was Brandon Gardner, but that was a downfield tackle after a great gain.
He went over the right guard that time. Did Tyrod Taylor.
19 yards on that play. Here's a quick look at it.
And he's right over Dominic White, right there, right behind Dominic. Look at that.
That was the fumble recovery. Here is the option with no one to option 2. Tyrod Taylor will just keep it and keep running. He is all the way down to the 10-yard line.
Wow.
First down for the Crabbers.
There was nobody to option 2. Nobody picked up the quarterback. It was a combination of who's going to do what.
It was an odd-looking play because it looked as if he was running along the line of scrimmage with an option, but there was no one to throw it to if he'd wanted, at least no one to toss it to. He could have thrown the ball.
Well, the coaches told me that he likes to run, and he can run, and we've seen that more than once.
Now, I think we've got a penalty flag on the play. So right now, let's take a look at the starters for the Crabbers on offense.
Sean McNeil, Jr.
Dominic White, Sr.
Tim Richardson, Jr. Herbert Broughton, Sr.
Brandon Vines, Sr.
Raphael McDonald, Jr.
Todd Nolan, Sr.
Stacy Johnson, sophomore. Ernest Harvey, Sr. Tracy McPherson, Sr.
Tyrod Taylor, sophomore.
What was the penalty? Did you get the
Yes, the
signal?
penalty was illegal procedure against Hampton. So it wipes out a huge gain all the way down to the 10-yard line, about a 35, 34-yard gain. But it is negated by the 5-yard penalty for illegal procedure. So the Crabbers will keep possession, but they'll have it now at the Booker 48-yard line, and it's 1st and 15. Inside handoff. This is Harvey, I believe.
Harvey, I think it was.
Ernest Harvey was the ball carrier.
That's an inside trap.
There you see the scoreboard. 8 minutes left in the first period. Scoreless.
Picked up about 6 on that play.
2nd down and 9. Ball marked at the Booker 42-yard line. I formation, double wideouts to the top of the screen. Again, this option play, but no chance to option the ball as Taylor was wrapped up beautifully by Ramses Rose. All right, let's look at the defensive starters for the Bookers.
Rose.
DeVario Graham, senior.
John Hassett, sophomore.
Ramses Rose, senior. Marlon Woods, junior.
Adidas Arrington, sophomore.
DeMonte Bradby, senior. Courtney Kroon, sophomore. Brandon Gardner, junior.
Antoine Thompson, junior.
Don Carey, senior. Jason Baskerville, senior.
So we saw the loss of a yard on the play. 3rd down and 10 for the Crabbers. Nolan goes in motion. Have yet to throw the ball. Now they toss it on an inside forward pass to Nolan, but he will not get back to the line of scrimmage.
That's a shuffle pass.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that. Not that we've seen all the Hampton games, but I've not seen that play before. And the Bookers defended it perfectly, and it'll be 4th down and 11. So
how big was that penalty?
Oh, it's huge. They'd be looking at 1st and 10 at the 10, and instead they're back in punt formation. So the Crabbers will bring on the kicking team. That'll be Marquez Bassett.
Now this young man, is it Bassett? One of the young men that, okay.
Looks like neither of the Bookers had any interest in returning the ball.
No.
It is downed by the Crabbers at the Booker 21-yard line.
Well, with this field, it's still kind of damp out there, and if you bounce, it's not going to go very far. So unless it's going, right to them, they're not going to catch it because the chances are it's not going to bounce very far.
Let's talk a little bit about the field, Bob. You and I watched the game last Friday night in a total deluge, and the field was pretty badly chewed up.
Yeah, and if you see the dark spots, I don't know if you can pick it up on the screen, but that is fresh dirt that they brought in to kind of level the field off.
But it is damp and muddy.
It is damp, and the footing is not that secure.
Although
I
it's
haven't
a lot
seen
better than
anybody.
last week.
Yeah, and I haven't seen. You're right, but I haven't seen anybody slip tonight. So
last week was just a disaster. This is Van, the left-handed quarterback, throws, and it should have been caught, but it's not.
Hit him
right. Late flag down in the backfield. Let's see what that one is all about. Intended receiver was Jason Baskerville.
Either holding or roughing the passer.
Well, could be holding, and it is, and that'll be against the offense.
From the point of the foul, isn't it?
I believe so. So the flag is laying on the ground at the 13-yard line.
So it'll be, half the distance, won't it?
I would think. And I'm not sure. I don't believe Dave Stollard's mic is working. He is wearing a mic for us, but I don't hear him. And if we can hear him in the van truck, let me know, because I can't hear him. Okay. So apparently Mr. Stollard, kind enough to wear the mic, hasn't turned it on yet, so we'll try and get the word to him to do that. In any event, it is a holding call against the Bookers, moving them back to their 7-yard line. Van standing in his end zone, and he is going to be taken down. That'll be a safety.
That's exactly what it is. And I don't know if that was Brian Allsink in there or who it was, but that penalty really hurt him.
Watch the replay, see if we can pick up who got him in the end zone.
It's hard to tell. With
in the first score from Todd Stadium, Woodside 6 and Davis nothing.
So with 5:54 remaining in the first period, the Crabbers draw first blood with a 2-point safety, and now, of course, the Bookers will have to free kick the ball back to the Crabbers.
Well, they'll kick it from the 20, so the Crabbers are going to get great field position.
Excellent effort by the Crabbers to trap Van. You know, one of the things that you were asking, Bob, was what about his mobility? You know, how is he going to be able to handle the onslaught from the Crabber defense? And the first real good example of that didn't prove well for them. And
well, and he got a little anxious there because when he dropped back to pass, he was immediately looking at red and black jerseys, and that's not a welcome sight.
Courtney Kroom will kick it off, although the punter is Don Carey. You may have heard Coach Stepney talk about his all-around athlete, Don Carey, but they choose to kick it from a tee. So it bounds at the 31-yard line into the hands of the Crabbers, and they'll bring it all the way out to the 47, almost the 48-yard line.
Number 30 made the finishing tackle.
Who carried the ball? I was trying
Brady.
to make...
Well, I didn't catch the ball carrier.
That's what I was trying to determine. Yeah, that's what I thought.
That'd
It
be
was
Fenner.
Yep.
That's the second.
You had a nice chance to see Derek Fenner play last night on national television.
And his dad is down here on the sideline. I got to talk to him a little bit this evening. So is Massenberg. Remember the Massenberg kid who played line
sure.
He was down. He said, "You don't remember me?" And I'm,
of course,
without your helmet and
that's right.
A program, no.
Taylor over the middle, got a man wide open. This is Harvey. He juggled it, but held on to it. Has the first down inside the 25-yard line. Ernest Harvey, not often thrown to, but he was wide open as right. You know, when you have a receiver like Nolan, you pay all the attention to the marquee receiver.
Yeah, but watch this, Tim. He delays coming out of the backfield. Don't we just watch the end of it? But he delayed about 2 counts and then came out of the backfield and was wide open. And we got another timeout.
Timeout this time is going to be called also by the Bookers. But, you know, Harvey has had, and I appreciate the Daily Press for the stats that were in the paper today. Harvey, coming into the game, had 16 catches for 282 yards and 2 touchdowns. So it's not a foreign territory for him. But, again, as the defending team, the Bookers have concentrated all week long on Todd Nolan, and then you have Ernest Harvey wide open over the middle.
Well, and both of these teams will supply the other team with 3 tapes of games that they've done. Well, you know, they may not have gotten any games where he was that wide open or as a receiver, but he was definitely Johnny on the spot. But like you say, he juggled the ball, but did a good job of concentration.
Yep.
Had he caught it cleanly, he may have gone all the way in for the score.
Did slow him down a little bit, but so the Crabbers will have excellent field position now at the 23-yard line. First down after the nice 30-yard gain from Taylor to Harvey. On the draw play to McPherson. McPherson is down to the 15-yard line, so he is going to pick up about 8 or 9 yards on that play. They'll mark him down at the 15-yard line. Second down and 2. As you see the draw play. Just a little delayed handoff to McPherson, and he took it down to the 15. A second down and a long 2. 5:05 remaining in the first period. Hampton 2 and Booker T nothing on the strength of a end zone tackling of the quarterback Van. This is McPherson bouncing to the left side, has to get to the corner and puts his head down and gets the first down and plenty more as he goes out of bounds at about the 10-yard line. So that'll give the Crabbers a first and goal. They'll mark his forward progress to the 8.
Ty Nolan, number 9, was down there blocking for him, the wideout.
There you see Ty No warming up on the sideline. Kicking game has improved immensely since he came on board about mid-season. First and goal for the Crabbers at about the 8.5, almost 9-yard line. McPherson into the middle of that line, gets to about the 6.
Likes to go over the right side, Tim, and you got your center, Sean McNeil. Dominic White is the guard on that side, and Brandon Vines is a tackle on that side, and they are giving him a good push.
Taylor comes over to the sideline. You see him in the bottom of your picture as he returns to the huddle as he gets each play from the coaching staff on the near sideline.
Ball is just right at the 5-yard line.
Second and goal. McPherson slants to the right side down to about the 2-yard line. So the Crabbers methodically moving the ball on the ground. It's third down and goal now.
And you watch this, Tim. He just comes right off that right side, puts his head down. Bookers are showing pretty good tackling ability.
And they're a well coached team, and Coach Stepney over there after 13 years with the Bookers is won, I believe you said six Eastern District titles.
Right. So he's done a good job at the Bookers.
And we've got movement on the defensive side of the ball. Now they can't get a first down on a penalty, but they can move it half the distance, which will make it a third down and goal at about the 1. Looks like the Bookers might have jumped. A 1-yard penalty, as Mike would make me aware of it. So you saw the defensive
foul.
They're right.
Encroachment on the defense, half the distance to the goal. Repeat third down.
All right.
Well, I saw him reach down and turn it on.
Yeah, well, you're not used to doing it, so
No.
it isn't necessarily instinctive.
Well, it should be a rule that everybody plays up here, the officiates up here at least one time, and so they know how to do the.
That's right. No signal yet, and now they're saying he did not get in, so it'll be a fourth and goal decision time for the Crabbers.
Oh, you got to go for it.
Booker T defense doing a good job here. Crabbers had a first and goal at the 8, and now it's fourth and goal. You saw him stopped just short of the goal.
It was awful close, but
they marked him almost a full yard short. I didn't think he got a very good spot.
No, he didn't got a terrible spot.
But it is fourth and goal, so a huge play now for the Bookers. They either get the ball and only trail 2-0 or find themselves down a touchdown plus. Taylor. Right side, easy walk in for McPherson.
And right over that right side again, where Vines and White are.
So the Crabbers capitalize on the safety in two respects, as you just saw McPherson untouched walk into the end zone. They got the 2 points, and then they took the kick on the strength of a 30-yard gain from Ernest Harvey, and then the rest of the work was done by McPherson and others. Ty No's extra point try is up, and it is good.
Held by young Matthew Mitchell is the holder. Good job of getting it down, and a strong leg. Young man has impressed me more each week I see him play.
So after the safety, the kick was returned, and then a good run and pass all the way down for the score. It's 9-0 now in favor of the Crabbers. 2:36 remaining here in the first period. The winner of this game will play the winner of Phoebus and Woodside. And, of course, by the time you see this broadcast, you will already know the results of that game. But we, of course, are told at this point in time that Phoebus is trailing Woodside early in the ball game by the score of 6-0. Crabbers will kick it off. The Bookers have played well on defense. They did a great job in their goal line stand, but just couldn't keep the Crabbers out of the end zone. Crabbers took 3 minutes and 18 seconds, 7 plays, and 53 yards, capped by the 1-yard run by Tracy McPherson. That's his 31st touchdown of the season. Taken at the 14-yard line, this is Thompson. Antoine Thompson out to about the 28 or 29-yard line. So the Bookers will have good field position to start this possession.
I'm going to tell you, Ty Noah was down there trying to get in on the tackle.
All right. Not just a good kicker.
29-yard line. The Bookers take over. First
Playing the complete role. .229 remaining here in the first period. Good crowd on hand from the Crabber side. Nice evening for football, unlike last Friday night. Well, you know, we talk about a perfect night for football. That was not. That was a perfect night for water polo.
That was the opposite of a perfect night.
whatever the antithesis of that would be, that was it.
And you want to throw that big workout again?
No, I loved it. Tried to pronounce it. It almost came out right. Bookers pick up a couple of yards. Baskerville was the ball carrier for the Bookers. Second down and a long 7 or a short 8, whichever you prefer. There you see the clock, 2 minutes and moving here in the first period. Flare pass near side to Thompson. He's got the ball and he's got the first down. Good run after the catch, too, as he is all the way out to the Booker 47-yard line. That'll be a first down.
Well, that was a great, that's just a flanker screen. He gets one block from the other wideout. Watch this block. If we watch it right there. Look like number 21 maybe that got that block.
Well, that would be, I'm pretty sure that's Taryn Connors, who's also another favorite receiver of Van's. So it's a first down at the 47-yard line. The Bookers move the chains, and they need to do that. They have to control some of the clock, and they will not get anything this time.
Fenner.
As Jacoby Fenner was right there to take down Lancaster in his tracks for a loss.
Oh, I tell you got to love it. Got to see his brother play last night in that Tech game against Maryland. His brother, number 83, is a wideout for the Terrapins.
I'll tell you one thing. Chesapeake and Hampton make up about a third of the Virginia Tech team, I think. Adibi is back. Glad to see Xavier recovering from that torn bicep.
Jimmy Williams
played well, and, of course, several other players that are well known in this area. Van back to pass over the middle. Got his man wide open at the Hampton 45-yard line. That'll be third down and 2 as they needed to get to the 43. But and Van with that good, quick pass.
And that's Connors, 21, that just went down and found an open spot in that zone. Watch it.
As you watch this replay, I'll tell you, Connors on the season, 40 receptions, 603 yards, and 8 touchdowns. So he's not foreign to the ball. I understand an update has Phoebus regaining the lead in that game against Woodside. Of course, we are a little partial. We'd love to see a Hampton-Phoebus rematch.
And now the last timeout.
Yeah, the Bookers with 9 seconds remaining. You know, they could have almost let the clock run out.
Timeout, Booker T. Washington. That is their last one.
So they've used them up. You heard referee Stollard tell you they've used their final timeout here and have not even gotten to the conclusion of the first period.
Want to remind the fans out there that the Hampton School Board, the first Wednesday of every month, it's at 7:30, is going to be televised live by WHCS Channel 46, so tune in and be informed.
So it's third down and 2 with 9 ticks of the clock remaining in the first period. You joined us late. The Crabbers got onto the scoreboard first by tackling quarterback James Van in the end zone. And then on the ensuing kick, the Crabbers got a good return with a 30-yard pass play right after that to Ernest Harvey, and then they drove down the field and capped that drive with a 1-yard touchdown by Tracy McPherson, his 31st of the season.
I was going to say, he has 31 touchdowns this year.
He
That's
actually has
amazing.
more than Elana Lewis. Lewis coming into tonight, postseason play, had 29. So McPherson beat him out in the touchdown department. Lancaster in motion over the middle, throw, and it's incomplete right into the hands.
Was he wide open?
Yeah, that was Adidas Arrington.
I like, you got to love the name.
Adidas.
I wonder if he likes Reeboks.
What a great name. If he ever gets to be a big name, he can say, yeah, I really like Adidas. And there you saw him. He will not get a lot of fame on the Booker T sideline for not making that catch. So it's 4th down and 2, and the Bookers have to decide what they're going to do, and they, of course, cannot wait for the quarter break, if you will, to have some time to think it over because the clock stopped with that incomplete
Looks like
pass.
they're going for it. They may try to throw them offside, but
they have no timeouts remaining. They're going to run the play. Flare pass, screen pass, as you will,
and
to
it didn't work this
Thompson,
time.
and it was a loss on the play, and the Crabbers take over on downs.
And that was Samuel Green, the outside backer on that side, making that tackle.
That is the end of the first quarter.
And so that play, as you heard Dave Stoller tell you, concludes our first period. So we played 12 minutes here at Darling Stadium. You're watching the Group AAA Division 5 Eastern Regional Semifinals. The Hampton Crabbers, after one period, are leading Booker T. Washington 9-0.
I have to question that call. You know, you go straight ahead, maybe try to draw them offside. If you can't take the 5-yard penalty and punt it, but because if you don't get it, you give the Crabbers, you can't give them that kind of field position. You see a great job by Samuel Green, number 21, coming up making the stop, playing that outside linebacker spot.
Well, you know, you talk about organization, you talked about discipline, you talk about things like this, and this goes back, and I'm not suggesting for a moment that the Booker T isn't any of those things, but the Crabbers are so meticulous about their game plan, and their coaching staff has been together for such a long time that they know what to do in these circumstances. And here's Booker T having burned all 3 of their timeouts. This would have been a perfect place to be able to use a timeout.
Yes.
And because of circumstances that they felt that they had to use their timeouts previously, they didn't have one. And you still have a full quarter here, and you have no timeouts remaining.
Yeah, and again, that call, giving Hampton the ball almost at midfield. Yeah. And you know a team like Hampton can strike quick, can score quick, they can run a dive play, and McPherson can pop open, or they can throw it to Harvey or to Nolan, and they can score quick, and it really puts you in a defense.
I'll tell you what, though, because I think we heard, and we'll watch this play, and I'll tell you what I was going to say about this. Inside handoff to Harvey as he is out to midfield, picks up 4. I think what we really honed in on is what Coach Stepney said. He came into this game with nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Yeah.
So his attitude is, you know what, you go for broke on a play like that.
Yeah.
If it works out, you've got first down and you keep the ball. If it doesn't work out, then you got to go back and play defense.
And nobody figures them to win anyway. That's his attitude. What do we got to lose? Nothing.
So, you know,
they don't expect us to win anyway.
You can't beat Hampton playing conservatively if you're at this level.
I just got a question. Give him the ball.
No, I agree with you. I agree with your point.
Midfield, it's just.
I mean, at least it wasn't the 30, but
yeah.
Yes, I agree with you. And I think that's the attitude that we're looking at here. Taylor throws, it was low, and was it caught?
Yeah. Nolan's got
I wasn't
great
sure Nolan
hand.
held on to it. It looked like he was having some difficulty. What a nice job of holding on to that ball. Watch this replay. You're going to see Nolan. The ball is low. And he just does an extra. I couldn't see because his body was between me and the ball. I couldn't tell whether
he made sure he got it. Didn't worry about running anymore.
No. And again, the maturity of this young man and the quality coaching that he's gotten shows there, because rather than trying to do something spectacular with the ball, he just decided, let me catch the ball and we'll just get the first down, and that's what they did.
And that was McPherson that time.
Tracy McPherson down to the 34-yard line. That's a gain of 5. Here's McPherson picking his way through the traffic and picks up 5 yards. 2nd down and 5 for the Crabbers as they are moving the ball nicely now with 10:27 remaining in the half. They lead 9-0, and they've got a 2nd down and 5 at the Booker 34. Pitch to McPherson. And a nice job of tackling him from behind, number 71, John Hazard, along with some help.
I tell you, saw that time Dominic White pulled on that play. If you watch him coming from the top of your screen, he pulls right there, makes a great block right there.
But nobody blocks 71.
Well, not only that, but I think McPherson needed to cut in a little quicker.
Yeah.
But that was a great block by Dominic White.
1 yard on the gain. 3rd down and 4 for the Crabbers. Crabbers checking off. And now they're going to call a timeout.
Yeah, he tried to draw him offside, and it didn't work.
Timeout, Hampton. That is their first one.
So they'll take a timeout with 9:32 remaining in the first half, rather. We'll remind you our regular season, and there we are. Hi, Mom. The regular season, of course, over with. This is postseason play. This is single elimination now.
Yeah.
The winner of this game will play the winner of Phoebus Woodside.
That's what I was trying to tell Mike. This is like the second season. He won the first season. He says it's all the same. Well, it's not. You can lose a game during the regular season, but you can't lose one when you get to this point.
33-yard line is where the Crabbers will have it. 3rd down and 4. If Hampton wins, they will host here next Friday night at 7:30. If Booker T wins, then the winner of the Phoebus Woodside game would host next Friday night. Do I get that right?
You got it right.
Because Booker is the number 4 seed anywhere they go.
They cannot host.
3rd down and 4. Taylor keeps. And he is stopped short of the first down.
He did not make it. They're going to spot him short of the 30.
He'll be at the 30, needed to get to the 29. So the Crabbers now will have to decide whether to go for it or not. Watch the replay here. You'll see this is just a run all the way. But again, Booker T did a good job of defending it. They've done a good job defending the run.
You got to be impressed with their defense.
Mark it actually almost to the 31-yard line, so it's 4th down and about 2. Taylor on the same play, stopped initially, but then got to the outside, but then lost ground in an effort to get more yardage. So the Bookers will take over.
Yeah, because he got back to the 30. Look, they're going to spot him just across the 30.
Oh, that's a generous spot, but it's still not enough. He had the first down, but then broke a tackle and lost a half a yard or a yard and ended up not getting the first down. So good job by the Bookers to stop the Crabbers. They did a good job on defense. And, you know, sometimes in an effort to get more yardage, you end up losing a yard.
Yep.
That's what happened. So right at the 30-yard line, the Bookers take over. Good job on defense. Now let's see if the James Van-led Bookers can do something. This man just a freshman, James Van. He's got a great future in front of him. You heard Coach Stepney talk about that. Not much happening there as the ball is handed off inside to Jason Baskerville.
He ran into Dominic White and Fenner. Jacoby Fenner, both those guys hit the runner, and he didn't get anywhere.
Well, they'll mark him forward progress about a half a yard.
Well, that was a generous spot.
And Fenner is no big kid. He's 5'10", 175,
Boy,
but he'll hit you hard.
He plays big.
2nd down and a long 9. Double wideouts to the near side. Man over the middle, throws behind his intended receiver, Don Carey, and it's incomplete.
Carey is upset because he was open.
He was open. The ball just thrown behind him. This was just a bad throw. You won't be able to see quite as much of it, but just take my word for it. He had to turn around and go backwards, and you can't do that when you're running a pattern like that. So 3rd down and 9 for the Bookers. That stopped the clock with 8:06 to go in the first half. Hampton 9 and Booker T nothing. Crabbers average 42 points per game and only allow 5.
3 wideouts down at this end of the field.
Man in the shotgun. Over the middle, flag down. Completes the pass to Conyers, but a flag down in the backfield.
And that's probably holding, Tim.
Well, if it is holding, it will negate the play. If it's something else, it'll stand. No, it's a chop block. So a very nice offensive play will be wiped out. So that kind of makes things somewhat even in that department. The Crabbers had a big gain wiped out on an illegal procedure call earlier in the half. And now the Bookers, but for the Bookers is a little more crucial because they're not going to necessarily get as many opportunities for that big play as the Crabbers might. Didn't see the chop block, but it was called nonetheless.
Crack back block, illegal block below the waist on the offensive team, 15 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat the down.
15 from the spot of the foul.
Yeah, I mean, that is a real backbreaker because not only were you looking at 3rd down and 9 if it was an incomplete pass or something, but you lose 15 yards. You're looking at 3rd down and about 24 now. So the Bookers will have to come up with a play that probably doesn't exist in their playbook. Going to need about 25 yards on this play. Van drops back, sets up the screen pass, and then is incomplete.
Yeah.
Thrown at the feet of Antoine Thompson. He couldn't come up with it, and the Crabbers will force the Bookers to go into kicking formation.
Now, the young man that punts for the Bookers is number 15, Tim. Don
Carey. Yeah, he was talking about what an all-around
He did a fake punt earlier this year, went 75 yards for a TD. So I don't know if they will try a fake punt here, but
I don't think so.
Different field position, they may.
I don't know. Well, against maybe a different team, you might. You just can't afford to give. Although they dodged one bullet by not getting that first down earlier, but the kicker, nice high kick. Taken at the 47-yard line by Nolan. Todd Nolan getting to the outside, still on his feet, got a blocker. He's at the 10, and he's dragged out of bounds inside the 5-yard line.
The punter.
Yeah, well, he had a touchdown as part of his scenario, but this time he saved one. Todd Nolan with a huge return all the way down to the 4-yard line.
He got that thing at the 40. He caught it at about the 47.
Yep. All the way down to the 4-yard line. So Nolan can beat you a variety of different ways. Yeah. He'll catch the long pass. He's averaged. Nolan's catching abilities are quite phenomenal. On the season, he averages 26 yards per catch. "31-yard punt, but a 43-yard return. So that's not going to help you out. This is McPherson, and he bowls his way into the end zone. Touchdown from the 4-yard line. So the whammy of the great return by Todd Nolan, and then McPherson adds another touchdown to his league-leading total. He's got 32 on the season. And Hampton now up by 15, looking to add the extra point.
Mitchell holding, Tyno kicking the PAT.
Long enough, no good. Wide left.
Pulled it left.
And the score remains 16 for the Crabbers. 15.
So the Crabbers' lead remains 15-0 on a great return of a punt by Todd Nolan, and then one play later, Todd McPherson with a touchdown, his second of the night. We keep hearing progressive scores. The latest score I heard was 21-14, or I believe that's what 21-14 Woodside. So Woodside, who has struggled as of recent times, giving Phoebus all they can handle.
Well, and I tell you what they're probably doing, they're probably passing the ball because they look good passing the ball against Hampton in the second half.
This one taken as a fair catch at the 29-yard line by the Bookers' Courtney Chrome. So that's where the Bookers will take it. Whether they rounded off to the 30, is that what they did?
Yeah,
he was
close
kneeling
enough
at the 29.
Yeah. Well, let's move it forward. Let's give him a yard. Let's give him a yard. A yard
Run
return.
the replay. Run the replay here, guys, and tell me that he didn't catch it on his knees at the 29-yard line. And they mark him on the 30. That's funny. Not important, but it's funny.
Do you give him a yard return?
When he reached over to the 30, I guess he broke the plane of the 30 when he reached into the 30-yard line end zone. Van rolling, looking, and throws, and now he's starting to show some of his freshman immaturity, if you will, in throwing the ball after getting a lot of heat.
And a young man putting the heat on him, Dominic White.
I don't think Van is nearly as effective when he's rolling.
Good shot of Coach Mitchell.
The holder's daddy.
The holder's daddy. You are right about that.
2nd down and 10 after the incomplete pass. Van not getting much protection. Kind of a rolling pocket, and he's playing more from the gun, too, because that heat that he's getting.
Well, and, you know, the rolling pocket should give him a little more protection and a little more time to throw, but he's going to roll to the left because of his left hand, you would think.
Flag down on the play. Throwing it has got Don Carey, and Don Carey can't bring it in. He had it a little low, but he should have caught it. But Carey is really upset. You can see him in your picture there, just out of your picture now.
Yeah, got a flag on the play.
Yep.
Watch the replay.
Illegal procedure, so it wouldn't have mattered if Carey had caught the ball anyway.
Now, he's got a pretty good arm on him, and not bad accuracy. He's had a few, at least 2 that I know has been dropped tonight.
Yep. As I said, though, that one would have come back in any event. So 2nd down and 10.
And they're going to decline that penalty.
Yeah.
Make it 3rd and 10.
The offensive line was not set at the snap. The penalty is declined.
We do appreciate Dave Stoller doing the microphone work for us tonight, explaining to you folks at home the ongoing activities from his perspective. 3rd down and 10 from the Booker 30-yard line. Van has some time, now feels some pressure, throws, and he one-hops it to his intended receiver, Conyers, and that'll bring up 4th down, and the Bookers will bring on the kicking team with exactly 7 minutes remaining in the first half.
Brian Osink was the one who's putting pressure on him. Go ahead.
Well, I wanted to mention on the way over here, I came over from Norfolk, stopped at my mom's, as I do so often on Friday night before the game, and I was passing by the Zooms at the corner of Mercury and Woodland, and gas prices at that Zooms were $1.69 for unleaded regular gas. And there was a crowd of people taking advantage of it. So you want to get good gasoline prices.
And you pick up the Beantown coffee, fried chicken,
some potato wedges, some pizza, and take it on
Krispy Kreme
home.
donuts.
Take the money you save on the gas and buy yourself an extra donut.
Box and one.
That's right. Carey gets the punt away. Another nice-looking punt, mishandled by Todd Nolan, but then he corrals the ball and will keep possession at the Hampton 38-yard line. Yep, Zooms with convenient locations all over the peninsula and inexpensive gasoline. Don't want to say cheap gas because that implies it's not quality, but it's quality Citgo gas.
Well, I was over on Big Bethel road the other day, and the Zooms over there was $1.75. Which was as cheap as anywhere I did, but $1.69, I didn't know that.
$1.69, that was Friday night, the 19th of November now. What it is tomorrow, or when you hear
and what's the Zooms where? At the Woodland
Mercury
and
Woodland.
All right. Well, they moved because it was $1.77 yesterday there.
Yep. This is Taylor after the 32-yard punt. Taylor's done that play several times tonight. It's been an interesting, again, we haven't seen all the Hampton games, but that's a play I didn't see Hampton run a lot in the games that we did.
Well, he has run it on occasion and has been very successful with it.
But
and it may be just when he gets up there, it's the gap thing or the way the defenses lines up and when he goes on it.
Picked up about 3 on that play, almost 4. This is McPherson, and he jumps to the outside, Tries to get around him and does. Goes out of bounds inside Booker territory at the 46. That'll be enough to move the chains.
And that was Antone Thompson, number 1, 6'2", 187 wideout defensive back, and he's just a junior, runs him out of bounds.
Bounced outside, did a nice job of getting the corner.
And the first down.
12 carries, 60 yards so far for Mr. McPherson. First down at the Booker 46-yard line with 6:02 remaining in the first half. Hampton 15, Booker T nothing. Taylor, just a sophomore, got away from a tackler and then gets pushed out of bounds. Let's see where they mark him out at about the 40-yard line. So he picks up 6. So Taylor didn't look like he got a lot, but he ended up with 6 yards.
Well, and again, Dominic White pulled. If you watch him, Tim, at the top of the screen, he's pulling and leading right there, picking up the blocker. I think it was a pass play intended.
Taylor, just a sophomore, so he has the opportunity to match up against this Mr. Van a couple more years down the road. Ball just inside the 40-yard line, second down and 4. McPherson, and he is close to the first down depending on the spot. Looks like he might be a little short. Picked up about 3 on the play. Let's call it third down in the yard. Hampton grinding it out now.
Third and about a yard.
Again, the field not in great condition. The evening for football, the fans couldn't have asked for a better late November night for a football game. It's about maybe in the upper 50s or low 60s. No wind, no rain. Really enjoyable evening to watch a good high school game.
It really is.
McPherson getting some heat, and he does a good job of getting to the outside and picking up the first down.
After he looked like he was going to be thrown for a loss, did a great job of continuing to move his legs and just continue to look for the open spot.
This is an excellent example of doing just that. Well, look at this. He stopped behind the line of scrimmage and ended up getting 4 yards in the first down. Mark it at the 33-yard line of Booker T. And again, grinding it out would be the way to describe it, I think, because that's what the Crabbers are doing right now. They're just jamming it down the throats of the Bookers. And the Bookers can't call a timeout to catch their breath because they have used them all.
They have none left.
Taylor, back to pass. On a stop and go, he's got Nolan wide open at the 3-yard line. Touchdown. I saw him fake the defender out.
But he put a move on Thompson.
He just stopped and hooked and went. And he went for a touchdown, 34 yards, 33 yards.
What a great call. Watch that. You can't see the stop and go, but it just a little stop. He moved, and then Thompson bit. And that was all it took.
I watched him. I happened to see Nolan because I saw him going back to, and I saw him look. Taylor was looking at him the whole time, and Nolan did that little stop and go and just went, and the defender was nowhere to be seen. 34-yard touchdown pass from Taylor to Nolan. Extra point try is up, and it is good this time. So the Crabbers tack on the extra point, and now with 4:35 remaining, lead 22-0. For Nolan, that is his 12th touchdown of the season. And coming into this game, he had 39 receptions for over 1,042 yards. And he's added one more TD to that total.
Well, you to add that plus all-purpose yards, the yards he took on that punt. I mean, he's well over 100, probably over 100 all-purpose yards.
So the Crabbers now starting to pull away from the Bookers. Just too much firepower. 22-0 here with 4:35 remaining. Taylor on the night so far, 3 of 4 passing for 74 yards. And the kickoff will be taken at the 19-yard line.
Number 4's got
This is Marlon Woods, and he's got some running room left side, trying to turn the corner, and goes out of bounds. Let's see where they'll mark him out at about the 35-yard line. So that'll be a 16-yard return.
And that was Sneed, number 11. One of the tacklers will actually run him out of bounds. Sneed is a backup quarterback, and he is just a 9th grader.
Tide is Woodside 21 and Adidas 20.
21-20 now, Woodside. Again, you'll know the end result, but it's news to us. We're just all sitting up here hoping for a Football-Hampton rematch. Somewhat selfish of us. Man from the gun. He's been shooting from the gun almost all the time. Almost picked off, but it is caught. This is Conyers showing why he's one of the leading receivers in the Eastern District, and he gets the first down with a gain of 11 yards. Tyrone Conyers, 40 receptions. Actually coming into this game had more receptions, but 400 less yards in the regular season than does Todd Nolan. And he did have 8 touchdowns. Of course, Nolan with 11 coming into this game. Nonetheless, an 11-yard gain for Conyers from James Van.
Well, I don't think we're going to see the Bookers run the ball much.
No, I think they've pretty much determined they won't be able to successfully do that. Out of the gun again, Van has some protection back there, throws near sideline. Thompson is taken down for a yard loss on the play. Again, Sam Green doing an excellent job playing that defense as he throws the receiver for a 1-yard loss. We got a penalty flag down on the play. See the replay and the fine open field tackle by Sam Green. Got a chop block again. This is a costly penalty. It's a 15-yarder from the point of the block. So the Bookers hurting themselves with very big penalties.
Illegal block below the waist on the offense. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat the down.
Repeat first down.
So it stays first down, but now you can perhaps see just, well, you can't quite see it in your picture, but just to the right side of referee Stollard, you can see the coaching staff for the Bookers out on the field discussing something with the officials. I'm sure they're disputing these blocks, and I can't tell you that I've physically seen the blocks myself. But the officials are calling.
That's the reason that's such a hefty penalty, because that really, when you chop block, you're taking the knee out, and you could ruin a kid's chance to go on to higher education on a football scholarship.
Van back to throw. Throws deep. He's got Thompson, and he overthrows Thompson this time. 4 defenders back there, and 2 on the route. Marlon Woods, number 4, was in the vicinity along with Thompson. Thompson appeared to be the intended receiver, and that showed you how strong Mr. Van's arm is. He threw that ball about 45 yards in the air, overthrew his intended receiver.
Well, his intended receiver was running as hard as he could run.
Just couldn't quite get to it. Second down and 27 for the Bookers. Ball is at their 30-yard line. Need to get to the Hampton 43-yard line to get a first down.
Well, Hampton's only rushing 3 down linemen.
Well, if you look at if you spread it out, you see they have 8 guys off the line of scrimmage. Now we've got a flag. Probably delay of game. Might have been too much time. That's the call.
Delay of game penalty, 5-yard penalty.
So things not going well.
Dead ball foul. Delay of game on the offense. Second down.
5 penalties for a collective 50 yards of assessment. Because you never know. You have to factor in the number of yards those plays would have been had they not been called. There was that nice pass play that was wiped out, about a 30-yard pass play, and a 15-yard penalty. That was a 45-yard sting, if you will.
Well, they got to go clear to the
All the way to the Hampton 43. 43. Pass is completed, and a nice stick by the aforementioned Sam Green.
Not Sam Green, but
Don Carey on the catch.
Samuel Green.
Van throws to Carey, and Carey taken down immediately at the 30-yard line. So they get a little bit of that yardage back. Not much, just 5 of those yards. And makes it 3rd down and 27.
Still 3rd and 27.
Mr. Ewing there just slipped off into a little nap.
We got to see if we can't keep him awake on his toes. He keeps wanting to do the running clock thing. I know that.
On the draw, Baskerville with some running room. A nice gain all the way out to midfield. Ball
But they
came loose.
fumbled.
Ball is loose, and Hampton has recovered. So good yardage on the play.
Samuel Green.
Samuel Green on the recovery. He's been all over the place. And the Crabbers will take over at midfield on the fumble recovery.
10 from the 50.
So that's the second turnover in the ball game for the Bookers. Hampton has turned it over once. That on the very first play from scrimmage. So the Crabbers will take over, leading 22-0. They've got 2 timeouts remaining. They're at midfield, trying to add to their lead. And a shovel pass that appeared to be intercepted. I believe the Bookers got it back, and they do.
They did.
Yep, that ball was in the air. It was a loose ball, and the Bookers came up with it.
And that is Graham, number 56.
It's actually an interception. Watch this ball. This ball is in the air. Great camera work. Not 56. You're absolutely right, Bob. DeVario Graham took it out of the midair and have the ball now at the Hampton 47-yard line.
And the Bookers have it. First down.
So there's still life in the Bookers. They're on life support right now, but there's still life in them. And what do we got here? We've got a penalty flag down on the far sideline. I'm not going to speculate what that is about. Let's ask your opinion. Were you watching the Tech game last night?
Oh, absolutely.
What did you think about that controversy, if you want to call it that, near the end of the first half when the booth was actually suggesting that the Tech team should take a knee instead of trying to score before half?
No,
have you ever heard of anything more asinine in your life?
I'm thinking these guys got to get real, because you can't tell these kids you're going to practice all week long and get up there and not trying to score in the first half.
Well, in the first half, you take a knee in the fourth quarter, but you sure don't just lie down with great. Now, if you're at your 30-yard line, you might run some conservative plays, but you're at your opponent's.
Dead ball foul. Substitution infraction on the offense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
I just wondered if it was me, because they were so adamant about it. I thought, what am I missing here? You've got a full second half to go.
Right.
What if
you never know what happened?
What if your quarterback is knocked out of the game on the first play of the second half, and you got to bring in your substitute? Virginia Tech has to bring a substitute quarterback who has no experience, and they're up by 38 points, and all of a sudden that evaporates. I've never heard any 2 respected broadcasters like Leo Corso and Kirk Herbstreit make the most ridiculous points of view I've ever heard.
We just saw that.
Just wondered if it was me.
No, it wasn't. Thompson just dropped the ball as they dropped the ball in the booth last night. I agree with you. I thought that was a coach. Neither coach would even think that. Well, how do they come up with these things?
Now they kept talking about how Friedgen was going to be upset because his good buddy was running up to score him. You don't run up the score in the first half. Yeah, that's why they get paid the big bucks. That's what Mike was just saying. I never heard anything so ridiculous in my life.
Well,
it is second down and 15 to go. Back to the game at hand here. Van on the option, pitches it back. This is Lancaster. He's got some running room to the 45, and he's down at the 44-yard line.
Tim, I want you to hope they have this in replay. Brian Osink, number 71, knocks down the quarterback, comes up and assists on the tackle.
All right, watch the replay.
Watch this.
This is all saying boom.
Now,
he decked him.
Yeah, watch him. He's coming.
Oh man, and he creamed Lancaster from behind. I saw him come in.
Two great hits.
He decked Van. He put Van on his back. That was a pancake.
But didn't quit. Did not quit.
No. Then he came and made the tackle. Talk about hustle. That's what people say. Well, how come Hampton keeps coming up with these great teams? You just saw reasons. Van again back to pass. This game is almost all passing now. He's got the first down. If he doesn't lose it on, he may have lost it going backwards.
Well, I tell you, they're giving him a great spot.
Well, he was not in the grasp, so it might well be a great spot. You could see. I don't know if you could see it or not, but the coaching staff on the other side were throwing their arms up in the air like, oh my gosh, get the first down and get down. Van, you can see his footing a little slippery. He's got the first down. There you see right there, you go down to your knee. He goes backwards and ends up with a 4th down and a yard because they did mark him short of the first down.
And that was a pretty good spot after all.
You know, and again, these young players are high school players, and guess what? It's a lot easier to see it from up here.
Absolutely.
They're trying to get more yardage, but you have to know where you are on the field. This is a nice play. Good fake. Van throws, completes the pass for first down at the Hampton 30-yard line.
A high percentage pass. The receiver went down and just sat there.
Well, and he showed his maturity because this is Conyers, their leading receiver. He knew. Get the pass, get down.
They're going to stop the clock while they move the chains.
Got 30 seconds, still got a chance. You know, a score here makes it a 14 or 15-point difference. That could still be a ball game. Van does a good job of getting the off-target snap in the end zone. Got Don Carey. Did he come up with it? Yes, he did.
Great.
So you've got to score a 30-yard touchdown pass and a late flag. This might be, well, I won't even speculate what it is, but I believe the touchdown is going to hold up.
Well, yeah, because the flag came after the reception. And he had to jump up to get that ball.
And he's standing in pretty good mud, too. Watch this. This is a nice catch by Don Carey to hold on and make the catch. Let's listen to the referee Stollard.
The touchdown is good. After the play, we have unsportsmanlike conduct against the offensive team that will be marked off on the point.
So you make it more difficult to get your PAT because you say something or demonstrate something that is unsportsmanlike. I know there's some frustration coming from the Bookers, but you have to keep your head in these games. But with 13 seconds remaining, the Bookers have gotten on the board 22-6, but they'll have an extra long PAT to try here.
From Todd Stadium till halftime, it is now Phoebus 35, Woodside 21.
35 to 21.
Well, that's a shootout, isn't it?
Did they bring their defense? 56 points scored in the first half between Phoebus and Woodside. Wow.
I don't think either team can stop the other team. Who has the ball last will win, right?
So far, the Phantoms are up by 2 touchdowns, but
we're talking, what, a 35-yard PAT here?
Yeah, that's what it is. You know, I had some stats here from this. And that will not be even close. See, that's where your unsportsmanlike really hurts because now you're still down by 16. So you've got to score 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points. What I was going to say, Bob, is just talking about that Phoebus-Woodside game. Peninsula District standings, Phoebus only allows 9.6 points per game in the regular season.
They've already given 21?
And they've already 21 up at halftime. Of course, Woodside only allows 19. They've given up 35. And Phoebus, on the other hand, is the #1 scoring team on the peninsula, just ahead of Hampton with 42.8 to Hampton's 42.1. But that one was 6 plays, 207, 47 yards. The final play being the 30-yard pass from James Van to Don Carey. And you heard Coach Stepney talk about Carey in high regard, and you saw a good reason for that, a great catch.
He says this young man is very bright, all-purpose player. He says he'll probably go to some place like UVA or William & Mary.
Van on the first half, 9 of 17 for 96 yards in the ball game. But that's pretty much been their offense. Okay, so the Bookers will have to kick it away with 13 seconds. It won't start the clock, and that's a loose ball and very alertly fallen upon by the Crabbers with 11 seconds to go. Harvey mishandled it and then covered it. So the Crabbers will have time for a play or two if they choose. They have 2 timeouts remaining. Anytime I've ever said, they're going to take a knee and get into the locker room, they've thrown the ball 80 yards. So I quit speculating a long time.
You got a young man like Nolan that can get open, and after he catches it, can run well, as we saw him, how well he ran with that punt return.
They'll do the draw play to McPherson. He'll get 10, 11 yards on the play. And now the Crabbers quickly call a timeout with 3 seconds remaining.
Timeout, Hampton.
Still get one more play at least before half.
Well, the clock would have stopped because of the chains moving, but maybe wouldn't have stopped it as quick as calling the timeout.
And they still have one timeout after
Is that their second one? First one?
Yeah, second one.
Second, that's right.
Second?
Yeah.
Second one. Don, listen to me.
Hold it up, guys. They got a timeout coming. May as well take your break.
So even though the Crabbers only want to stop the clock, they have to take the full timeout because the Bookers have the right to take the full amount.
No, they can't call it. Well, they can, but...
Keep it up, Don. Thank you. Got a running conversation going.
I love it.
So in any event, the Bookers have hung tough here. They've played good defense against the rush, given up a couple of big plays, and they find themselves down 22-6, but still breathing. That touchdown was huge.
It sure was. We got number 5. That is Brandon Gardner is now covering Todd Nolan down here at the bottom of the screen.
You better bring a friend.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because Todd make a move. Well, number 15 is slipping over this way, but I don't know if Carey is going to.
Now some illegal procedure call apparently against the Crabbers. That's not Nolan down. That's 87. Where's Nolan?
Oh, Nolan must have been in. Yeah, I thought that was Nolan down there. No, you're right. That's Isaac Hill down there.
So illegal procedure against the Crabbers. False start. Center simulating the start of a play, whatever they call it these days.
Dead ball foul. Snap infraction on the offense.
Snap infraction.
Repeat the down.
Now, see, all you have to do is ask, and he's going to let you know, isn't he?
There it is.
Snap infraction.
And more than we want to know something.
It's good to slip in and hear some of the.
It is. It's fun because
what's going on in there? That's the second time when one guy said, "Yeah, it's first one." The other guy said, "No, it's 2." Second one? Yeah, okay.
It reminds me of that. The NFL does that sounds of the game thing.
Yeah.
All right. Should be the final play of the half. And Taylor does a good job of getting away from a tackler, throwing into coverage. It's picked off by Don Carey. He was out of bounds, so it doesn't matter.
And he said he was juggling it too. So
it's really of no consequence because had he caught it or not caught it, the end of the half has come. So we've played 24 minutes here at Darling Stadium, and our score at halftime is Hampton 22, and Booker T 6. We'll return to Darling Stadium for the third quarter of action after this brief timeout. Ceremony is concluding. The Booker T. Washington Bookers and the Hampton Crabbers halftime 22-6 in favor of the Crabbers. For the first half statistics, the Bookers had 10 rushes for 27 yards. Their leading ball carrier was Baskerville, who had 3 carries for 23 yards. The passing department, 9 of 17 with no interceptions for James Vann. He did have 1 touchdown. That was to Don Carey of 30 yards. total of 96 yards passing. Carey had 2 catches for a total of 35 yards. 123 yards total offense for the Bookers. They had 5 first downs. They fumbled the ball twice. They lost it twice. And then I put a little asterisk next to this one, Bob. 7 penalties for 70 yards.
See,
so
that hurts.
That hurts. But they did score off of the Hampton turnover, the interception that occurred late in the first half. For the Crabbers, they carried the ball 23 times, 119 yards. They had McPherson leading the way with 15 carries for 78 yards. Tyrod Taylor was 3 of 6 with 1 interception, which of course did lead to that touchdown. He had a total of 74 yards. Todd Nolan, 2 catches for 44 yards. And of course, one of those was the touchdown on the beautiful stop-and-go pattern that Nolan executed in order to get open.
And the one that you were watching the whole time, right?
It was pretty. 2 catches, 44 yards, 193 yards total offense for the Crabbers. 7 first downs. They fumbled the ball 3 times, lost 1. Of course, that was on the very first play from scrimmage. And they did get penalized twice for a total of 10 yards. Time of possession, 15 minutes and 9 seconds for the Crabbers. 8 minutes and 51 seconds for the Bookers. That's a telling total as well, because the Bookers really need to control the ball in order to have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they really do. But what we're going to see, Tim, is the second half is Hampton's going to make some adjustments, because I know they want to get McPherson running the ball a little bit more, picking up more yardage on first and second down than he has been. And so I look to see a couple of adjustments made. And I look for Taylor to put the ball up a little more, because Nolan is a great receiver, and when they concentrate on him, that opens up Harvey across the middle coming out of the backfield.
Recapping the scoring for you, Hampton started with a safety as they tackled James Vann in the end zone. That came at 5:54 of the first period. Then McPherson, after the free kick, returned the ball, capped a nice drive with a 1-yard run to make it 9-0. The extra point by No was good. McPherson then added another touchdown with 7:22 to go in the first quarter, with a 4-yard run, making it 15-0. The extra point try was off the mark. Nolan completed the scoring for the Crabbers with a 34-yard reception, the one we mentioned a moment ago, 22-0. And then Carey, with just 13 seconds remaining on the 30-yard catch from the quarterback Van to narrow the gap to 22-6, and the second half underway as the ball is taken at the 20-yard line by Thompson rather.
Yeah.
And Thompson is out to the 25, so a 5-yard return for Antoine Thompson for the Bookers. They have the ball to start the second half.
And tonight's second half is brought to you in part by Parklawn Wood Funeral Home, located at Hampton Center Parkway and North Olmsted Avenue. For more information, give them a call at 827-4670, where Nancy Staten is the manager.
Getting some of our crew on camera there.
We had a crew on camera.
Yeah,
I wonder who's got the thing. I haven't talked about my favorite sport yet.
Well, not on the air, at least. First down from the Booker 25-yard line. Van in the conventional set gives to Lancaster, and he is across the 30.
Really ran good, didn't he?
Yep, picked up 7 yards out to the 37-yard line. Stopped on the play by Ernest Harvey.
Harvey, one of the inside backers, got a nice little seam there and just squirted out of a would-be tackler. But that's one of the best running plays they've had tonight. That's about a 5-6 yard run.
Yeah, they only had 27 yards all totaled in the first half. 32-yard line is the spot.
I would kind of look at for him to come back out passing. Well, here you go.
Thompson just narrowly caught the pass and gets out to the 39-yard line for a first down. That was almost picked off. That was one of those.
Looked like Green again, Tim.
Yep, look at this. Green came up, closed on him very quickly, but slipped in an effort to make the tackle, and then slipped again as he was actually knocked down by a teammate. And the footing is treacherous out in that particular area, right around the 40-yard line.
Between the 40s, yeah.
It's just a...
well, actually, you say between the 30s.
Yep. But worse where they are right now. Just last week's game in the rain just really tore this field up.
They ran a trap play that time with the fullback.
You know, I understand and I agree with you. The first inclination would be to say, all right, the Bookers are going to come out and go pass on every down. But they're only down by 16. They're down by 2 touchdowns with two-point conversions. So it's not like they're down 30-0. That touchdown late in the first half made this game a little different.
Yeah, a little tighter, too. That was number 30, Bradby, the fullback, running the ball on a trap play.
Picked up about 3 on the play. Second down. Van wants to throw, and he short hopped it incomplete for Conyers. Had he caught it, it would have been enough for a first down, but the ball was just a little short. Watch the replay here. Just a one-hopper, almost picked off by the Crabber. Had a good shot at it, but couldn't come up with it. 3rd down and 7 to go for the Bookers. Clock stopped with 10:13 left in the third period. Clock management was not a forte of the Bookers in the first half. They burned all 3 of their timeouts in the first period, and there were times in the second period where they well could have used one of those timeouts. So you might see a little different approach in this second half from Coach Stepney and his group. Momentary stop for the officials. We're set to resume play now. Man under center. On the option, pitches it back to Lancaster, and he is dragged down from behind. No gain.
Allsink again. he was the one who made the quarterback pitch the ball and then makes the tackle.
He has been all over the field. You know, you and I like to concentrate on giving awards to the defenders as well. It's easy to pick out the Tracy McPhersons and the Tyrod Taylors and the Todd Nolans, but the defense tonight has really done some outstanding play. Sam Green and Allsink have just been all over the place. And that brings up the 4th down after the no gain on that play, and Don Carey will be in deep punt formation. No wind a factor tonight at all. I mean, the flags are just absolutely, totally dead. And Carey's punted the ball quite nicely. And this was just as I say that, he gets a poor kick away, but a good roll, a flag down on the play. Nolan picks the ball up and has some running room, but then quickly is taken down from behind at about the 34-yard line, but a flag down on the return.
And that could be against the receiving team.
Usually it's a block in the back or something of that nature, but let's see what the officials determine. See if you can pick up what might have happened. See that ball? He's been kicking them about 50 yards in the air up and 50 yards downfield. That time it was a low liner. Not particularly long.
We got a holding against the Crabbers.
Just a 30-yard punt, but the effect with the holding will be a very positive thing for the Bookers, as the Crabbers will be backed up. And, of course, holding will be from the spot of the infraction. Looks like it was back at around the 26-yard line that they've marked the ball, and then they'll go half the distance to the goal line, I guess.
No, is that? Yeah, you're right. Right at the, it'll go down to the 11.
Holding on the receiving team during the kick.
Actually,
the penalty is 10 yards from the end of the kick. First down.
So it's a 10-yard penalty from the 26. So they mark it at the 16. So the Bookers get some extension to that not particularly long punt. Taylor will come in from the sidelines along with Childress after getting the play. Crabbers 22 and Booker T. Washington 6. Third quarter of action. Tim Cole, Bob Hintz, and Mike Hauser coming to you from Darling Stadium.
Harvey on the run that time on a trap going over the right-hand side. Number 55, Brandon Vines blocking for him. Picked up what looks like, what, about 5?
5, pretty close. You're watching the Eastern Regional Group AAA Division 5 semifinals. This game, if you joined us late, the victor in this game will take on the winner of Phoebus Woodside, which is still to be decided. We heard at halftime in that game it was 35-21 in favor of the Phantoms. Now I understand it's 42-21, so the Phantoms pulling away a little bit. A shootout at Todd Stadium tonight.
That was McPherson again on the stop. He's not getting, and I don't know if his footing is not good enough because the field is wet and there's no grass out there, Tim. They're playing on basically mud when you get into the 30s.
They marked the ball just short of the 25-yard line. Need to get across the 26. It's third down and about 2. Out of the I formation. Harvey blocking, McPherson carrying, and he'll be close to the first down.
Depends on the spot.
On the spot.
And I don't know that he got it. I think he's going to be short.
They have yet to spot the ball, so I find it difficult. And they're going to give him the first down. They're going to say he got it.
Wow, it looked like it's short for he got a good spot.
So they move the chains without having to measure.
I think defense, can't they call for a measurement?
They could have, sure. I think it was elusive as to where it was. It apparently was clearly from. I like that. Like an official that makes a decision, goes with it. Again, McPherson getting the call.
And that's Adidas Arrington making the tackle.
The score has gone up to 49 for Phoebus, 21.
49 to 21 Phoebus.
Well, they're scoring
playing
just
basketball
well,
already? I didn't think basketball started for a couple more weeks.
Well, they're just scoring it well, aren't they?
Mark the ball at the 32-yard line. A gain of about 7 on the play, almost 7. Let's call it second down and 4. Long 3, short 4.
Long 3, short 4. Okay.
McPherson has some running room. He's finally into the open. Can they catch him from behind? It looks like they will. But not until he's inside the 15-yard line.
They got him down at the 10, it looks like, and that was one of the best runs he's made tonight, but he did a great job of cutting after he got through the line of scrimmage.
56-yard
Watch
run.
this right here, and he'll cut back left right here, and he can't cut hard. You notice he didn't plant that foot too bad.
Well, the Bookers showed good speed in catching him, but not until he picked up 56 yards for a first down at the Booker 12-yard line.
That puts him well over 100.
147 yards on the night, to be exact. 19 carries, averaging about 7 yards a carry. And now we've got
timeout, Hampton.
Timeout. So the Crabbers running out of time before they needed to get that ball snapped, and rather than waste it down here in the red zone, if you will.
Well, I'm surprised they've at the spot. If we had that replay, looked like to me that he went down at about the 10-yard line, but maybe his knee hit before the 10. Want to thank Zooms for giving the award to the senior football player in each one of the Hampton schools this year who has demonstrated academic excellence. These players will be awarded plaques at a school board meeting after the season. We'd like to thank David Allen and Zooms for the continued support to WHCS and our student athletes.
I want to thank David Allen for lowering the gas price over at Woodland and Mercury.
Down to $169.
Over there, $169 as of Friday night.
I think Mike's writing down the address so he can get over there and fill up his tank.
Already did it.
Yeah, bad timing. He already filled up his tank, paid $174 for it. See, could have saved that nickel. Could have bought that yacht if he keeps saving a nickel on every gallon.
Got to do that, Mike.
All that up. First down in any event at the the Booker 12-yard line. Crabbers leading 22-6, trying to add to that lead, and now we've got another stoppage of play. I think we had some movement on the defensive side of the ball into the neutral zone, but we'll let Dave Stollard tell us. No, offsides against Hampton. Okay, mark me down wrong on that one.
Okay. That's how many tonight?
One in a row.
One in a row, but who's counting?
That's right.
Dead ball foul, encroachment on the offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat the down.
They want to know in the truck when you're going to mention that G word.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Great balls of fire. First down and 15 for the Crabbers. Trying to get a playoff, and this is a quick handoff inside on the trap play to Harvey.
Yeah.
And Harvey gets back the 5 that they had been penalized. So it's second down and the 10 at the 12. Got to get all my numbers
I
straight.
noticed that you carry to 1, subtract 2.
I got my tang all tangled up and wasn't sure just what I was saying. $5:32 left in the third period. All the scoring coming in the first half. This is McPherson, and he is taken down as he got to about the 7-yard line.
Don Carey, number 15, making the stop.
Needs to get to about the 1.5-yard line to move the sticks. They can get a first down without scoring. I tell you, I'm impressed with the Booker's defense. They've played well on defense tonight. This is a shot from the end zone. Ron Baton standing down there in the underneath the goalpost.
We got a timeout, Booker T. Washington.
So now the Bookers take a timeout. So each team has burned a timeout here in the third period. It stops the clock with 4:48 remaining. And we'll remind the fans that for the playoffs, the game times have been changed to 7:30. So next Friday night, the game after Turkey Day, will be here at Darling Stadium if Hampton wins. If Phoebus wins, it'll be here. So if Hampton and Phoebus play each other, it will be here. And it'll start at 7:30.
I think they're going to broadcast probably Saturday and Sunday at 7 o'clock. Yeah. The field announcer want to know when the games are going to be, this is going to be played on WHCS channel 46 in Hampton.
So next Friday night, it's very likely we'll have a Hampton Phoebus rematch, then that game will start at 7:30 instead of the regular season starting time of 7.
Tim, do you think there's a possibility that if Hampton does not pick up the first down, that they will go for a field goal?
Well, it would bring up an interest. It would make it a 3-score game. Let's worry about that if it happens.
Yeah,
and Tyrod Taylor did not get the first down as he is bulldogged to the ground at the 5-yard line. So the Crabbers will have to make that decision. I see Tyno over on the near sideline here has been
he's warming up,
but I don't think he's coming in.
No, they're going for it.
So it's at the just shy of the 5-yard line. As I mentioned, they need to get inside the 3-yard line.
Let's see if they try to draw him offside, Tim.
Well, even that wouldn't necessarily give him a first down, but it could be close. I'd try the hard count one time, if nothing else. Nope, quick snap. Taylor rolling, being chased, has some running room. He's going to get the first down, and he's going to get in the end zone. Touchdown, Hampton. From the, what was that, about 5 yards, Mike? Yeah, he was at the 5.
About 5 or 6 yards out.
For Taylor, that is his 12th rushing touchdown of the season.
He protect that ball.
Yep, tucked it underneath his left hand. Because Taylor on the season now has 12 rushing touchdowns to go along with his passing touchdowns.
Oh, that was blocked.
Of 16. Extra point try is no good. So the score remains 28-6 in favor of the Hampton Crabbers. And we have just under 4 minutes remaining in the third period.
We remind the audience that on the first Wednesday of every month at 7:30, we have a live broadcast of the Hampton Schools the school board meeting, and it's very important to tune in and be informed. And a lot of things going on. We got a new superintendent. A lot of things happening, positive things happening in the school system. So you need to tune in the first Wednesday of each month at 7:30 p.m. live right here on WHCS Channel 46.
9 plays, 5 minutes and 8 seconds, 84 yards. If you recall, the Crabbers fielded that punt and then had a holding call, started from their 16-yard line. So that was a nice time-consuming, successful drive for the Crabbers. Kickoff taken at the 20.
Boom!
And Thompson gets only out to the 29 before he is leveled.
Oh, that number 87 in there.
Yes,
Isaac Hill. Oh, him along with a couple others, but there was a meeting of the mind.
Watch this meeting at the 30. Ooh, my goodness. Wow.
You could almost feel that.
That was some contact. So they mark it at the 29-yard line and try to pick that young man up from being buried. Watch it. Here it is again. Watch this contact right here.
I was reading in the Sports Illustrated about this team out in California that they're all deaf, and the fans were sitting there, and one of the mothers could hear, and so she signed to the other mother.
Picked off. Didn't mean to interrupt it, but Nolan's got the pick. And a holding call will negate some of this.
But anyway, she says, boy, you can hear him hitting. And the deaf mother said, you can hear him hitting? Because that made her, my son's out there. We kind of take that for granted.
On the return, Nolan with another interception. And I say another because this is not the first he's had. I don't know the exact number. But on the return, I did pick up a holding, and I won't pick on the young man. I saw it, and that's going to be the call on the return. But it will be a turnover, but the return will have some of that yardage taken away. We do not we do not identify the culprits when possible. But it'll be a holding call from the spot of the infraction after the turnover.
Holding on the Hampton after the change of possession. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down for Hampton.
Yeah, you heard that door opening and shut?
I did.
Yeah, that was still left over from Halloween.
So the ball is moved out to the Booker 35-yard line, but it will be Hampton ball. Taylor still at the sideline asking for the play. Now he runs back in. And now a late flag comes down. And it was in the area of one of the coaches. Yeah, I think
Coach Mitchell may have.
I don't want to identify anybody. I would be speculating at best. But I think someone said something to somebody, and it's going to cost the Crabbers some yardage.
Unsportsmanlike conduct call against the Crabbers.
Well, let's see, that's first and 25.
That is a painful one.
Now we're back at the midfield stripe.
Dead ball foul. Unsportsmanlike conduct on Hampton. 15-yard penalty. First and 25.
So they back at them all the way up to midfield. So the Crabbers, in any event, have the ball. Finally get back to playing some football here. McPherson, and he's got some running room near side. Got a nice block from Todd Nolan to spring him for some extra yardage. Stops, waits for the pursuit to catch up, and he's going to score.
What a move! And that's a 50-yarder, and that puts him over 200. Oh, man. When he stopped, the Bookers didn't know what he was going to do. Oh, man, watch this.
This is fun to watch.
It is beautiful. Right here, he runs out of a would-be tackler. Todd Nolan right there, and he says, okay, now wait a minute. Wait, nobody got me.
What?
What happened to him?
He almost stopped in his tracks. And it said, all right, let all the pursuit go right past him. He's got 21 carries for 201 yards.
Well, that was a 1 play drive.
That was something. So all the penalties against Crabbers had no effect on them. They took one play to go 50 yards to add to their increasing lead. Ty No's extra point is good. So now the Crabbers lead convincingly by 35-6. And that took less than 30 seconds for the Crabbers to score again.
Oh, show that again, Scotty.
It was unfortunate we kind of lost track of it, and then they had to switch
but at the end they got it because that's where he was really doing it. But Ty Nolan, the wide receiver, is down as we watch it again. Right there, nice move, and then he's got said, okay, Todd is down there blocking for me, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop and do a stutter step, and and there's a Booker in the end zone, not expecting him to be there.
And now we've got an official taking a timeout. Who's the Crabbers are taking a timeout. So Mike Smith has asked for a timeout, and there you see him in your picture. Has asked the referee Stoller to come over. He wants to talk to him about something. I'm not sure. I guess we could try and listen in.
Mike doesn't want us to listen in.
So he'll burn a timeout to make a point, whatever that point might be. We've seen this in the past, and that's the way to do it. You know, rather than rant and rave or something like that, you take a timeout and you get the officials' attention because they'll listen to you.
Right.
Not sure what it's about, but it's 35-6. In any event, Hampton up by 29.
Well, he had pleaded his case. There's no doubt about that.
He's actually asking
Danny Mitchell to come down there.
So the point, whatever it is, has been made, and now Hampton is charged with a second timeout. I assume, because he's already made that signal once. So I guess he's...
I don't know. We'll have to ask Tim down there.
Did they charge him with a second timeout, Tim? I believe they did. But they just signaled it again.
You can't charge him for a second timeout there.
He can't. I don't know.
The only thing you can do is throw another sportsmanlike conduct foul. You can't charge an inadvertent timeout like that just because he doesn't like the play.
I know he took a timeout for the conversation, but at any rate, it already signaled once, and then he's gone over and signaled a second time for timeout. Now the Booker T. Washington coaches want to know what's going on. Maybe they want to know, for clarification purposes, has one or two timeouts been called?
You know, I don't know how you can call a second timeout, but you could maybe charge him for something or charge him a penalty for taking too much time, 5-yard delay a game.
Right.
But,
well, in any event, the board shows Hampton with one timeout remaining, and that would be correct if they only were charged once, because they took one earlier. Back to the football, which the reason we're on. Don Carey takes it at the 24-yard line, coming to the near sideline, and he'll be wrestled to the ground at the 32.
And that's Jeremy Kroom, number 7.
And 21, Sam Green.
Sam's been all over the place tonight, hasn't he?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Here is the replay.
I'm saying great because I didn't have any sound coming through my left ear, and then Scotty just cleaned it out. I don't know what he did, but thank you, Scotty.
You're working your sinuses next.
Well, I thought I lost the left ear.
I don't know. My hearing's been perfectly good. What? 32-yard line is where the Bookers will start this possession, down 35-6. They had only trailed 22-6 at halftime, but now a couple of scores by the Crabbers have really put them in deep trouble. This is a quick out pattern to Don Carey. and actually had more yardage than he'll end up being given credit for because he went backwards and stepped out of bounds.
Yeah. And that's a safe pass just to, because you don't pick up, 2 or 3 yards, but it's not a dangerous pass. But you want to get a little confidence back because the last pass that Van threw was intercepted by Nolan.
Now we have a stoppage for equipment. You see right there at the bottom of your screen.
Looked like the helmet.
Yeah, the Bookers were going without a huddle, and of course now that kind of loses its effectiveness because they've had to stop here, and the defense has had a chance to get some signals from the sideline to make adjustments. In any event, second down and 7. From the shotgun, Van pump fakes, throws at the first down marker.
Oh, nice
Conyers,
move.
good job to get away from the tackler and out to midfield, where it'll be another first down for the Bookers.
Well, that was number 2, wasn't it?
Well, that would be Fenner. 2 that caught the ball or 2 defending? It was 21 Conyers who caught the ball.
Yeah, Conyers. I just saw the 2 on his thing, but he had the first down and then went back and made a good move against the defender.
That's one of those things the coach says, no, yes.
Yeah, don't shoot that. Oh, it went in good.
Over the middle, incomplete, intended, and a late flag comes down, intended for number 83, that's Montrell Brown. First time we've seen him as an intended receiver, but might have had some early contact. Flag thrown in the area where you might see interference called. See if we can see it. Yeah, it looks like there might have been some early contact on the intended receiver. That is the call, interference.
Against the Crabbers, right?
Mm-hmm. 2:45 remaining in the third period. Been a long second half so far, Bob. This has been dragged out with penalties and discussions and what have you.
Well, number 57 for the Crabbers comes out. Sean Childress and Taylor.
Pass interference on the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And Tyrod Taylor goes in as one of the defensive backs.
You advance the ball to the 36-yard line. First and 10 for the Bookers.
Not tonight.
What's not tonight? Van rolling, looking, and then lofting one up into the end zone. A Hail Mary, if you will. And it goes incomplete.
2 Crabbers around there.
A couple of good receivers down there battling for it. That was Nolan defending on the play. And the intended receiver was Marlon Woods in a crowd. Interesting.
Will blow their mind. He did. He really just threw it up for grabs.
A Hail Mary. Figured, okay, if my guy catches it, good. If your guy catches it, we'll give him that 20-yard line.
Yeah, it's like a punt.
Second down and 10. A little premature to be punting at this point. It was the same effect. That had been and this one. Oh, Conyers is decked, and it's incomplete. Almost intercepted.
Well, was he hit?
Conyers really took a hit, is right. That was Jeremy Kroom who almost came up with the ball.
But if you go across the middle and you put the ball up high, you are really stretching out your receiver.
Yeah, he got stretched out all right. Conyers will remember that hit. Almost came up with it. Third down and 10. Interesting. They started the third period, but they were only down by 16. Now they're down by 29, and they have to go a little different. This is a middle screen for Thompson, and he's got the first down
at
about the 24-yard line.
Nice call. Everybody's looking for him to go downfield, and he runs a little inside screen. Here's a good shot of our stadium crew.
Working hard as usual.
Oh, they are. They're keeping an eye on the field. And the gentleman in the red hat, that is Mike Smith. He asked me which Mike Smith was going to interview tonight.
The Bookers have 9 first downs in the game now, and 8 of them via the airwaves. So again, a delay.
Harvey had some equipment problem with his helmet.
And now the clock is restarted with 2:15 remaining in the third. Again, Van from the gun. Trying to get his team back in this one. This is Baskerville on the delayed handoff to the 20, a gain of about 4.
That was a nice draw play. When you get down there and everybody's looking for you to pass, the screen and the draw is not a bad call. You break a couple tackles and you get into the end zone.
Not the case here, but at least a nice gain. Second down and about 7.
Second and 7.
Tim's got it as 2nd and 5 on the board, but his 5 looks a lot different than my 5. Conyer is the intended recipient.
And for Cronyard.
It's 3rd and 7.
3rd and 7.
Is he sleeping down there?
3rd and 7, Tim.
What's Tim got up there?
3rd and 5. I told you, his 5 was much different than my 5.
Well, I tell you, I don't want him to make change for me. I expect back $7 and get 5.
You can't. You can't push the buttons. Swing pass and interesting. Now, will that be holding? That's a backward pass. Oh no!
That was a backward pass. And Brian Ossick grabbed him and threw him down, didn't he?
Yeah, now is that interference when it's in the backfield? No, right? Because you're playing the
it's
man.
a lateral.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the intended receiver was grabbed before he could make the catch, but that was...
It doesn't make any difference if he's not going downfield.
Watch this. Okay, let's watch this play and see where he is when he... Oh, that was a lateral. That is a... Oh, my. The official on the near side just totally blew that call.
Blew that call. You're right.
We get a chance to see that one more time.
After this play, maybe.
4th down. Now the Bookers going for it. Got double wideouts to the near side. Baskerville and Thompson. Conyers to the top of your screen. He's looking for Conyers. He's got him. And can he hold on to it? No.
No.
Would have had a first down, but he was unable to hold on.
Intended for Conyers.
Here's the previous play. There's the what we feel was a lateral. Now he's standing at the 22.
And that ball hits
on the 24.
Almost at 24.
And if that wasn't a backward pass, I never saw a backward pass. But
that
anyway,
was a backward pass.
Well, as it turns out, again, we're up higher. We have a better view of it.
We have replay.
And we have replay.
But if you're the side judge, you got to see that.
That was Bob. That was Bob. That was Bob who said.
Tim told me to say that.
I don't need to. Oh, McPherson fumbled the ball. Did he get it back? Looks like it bounced right back to him, which is not an easy. No. Now they're saying that the Bookers have the ball. And he did not come up with it. So a fumble at the 22-yard line. Let's watch this one. McPherson, his second fumble.
He just jumped out of his hand.
Yeah, and there it is on the ground.
And he wasn't hit.
Second lost fumble tonight for McPherson, and that is not typical of him. So the Bookers get it right back at the Hampton 22-yard line. Van from the shotgun. And now we've got
timeout because we were only 10 players on the field for the Crabbers.
We have a timeout, Hampton.
10 players. So that shows, now the board shows Hampton has used all of their timeouts. So like Booker T, who used all of theirs in the first period, Hampton has used all of theirs in the third period. It is still the third period. This game is dragged. We're getting our money's worth tonight, Bob. Somebody's
getting their money's worth.
But we knew coming into this that the passing was the forte of the Bookers and expected. There you see Mr. Braxton up there. Is it raining on you tonight, Mr. Braxton?
No, it's not raining on his
It rained
parade.
enough last Friday night for a whole season.
He said that was enough for the whole season. You're right, and I'll have to agree with him. When you look down on the track and half of the track was covered by water.
Oh.
56-27. Phoebus over.
Wow. Phoebus 56-27. I think we'll see the Hampton Phoebus rematch we were hoping for. This is Baskerville, and he is stopped cold by the middle of that line. He got a head of steam, and boom, he ran into a wall.
And that wall was number 66, Dominic White.
Watch this replay. I mean, he's got a good head of steam going into boom. Nope.
You ain't going nowhere.
That wall did not move.
Don't get in my space.
That's him guarding the ball right now. That's Dominic White saying, that's my ball.
And the coach on the other side, Larry Stepney, was very impressed with that young man. He says he hasn't seen many defensive and offensive linemen as good as Dominic White.
As he should have. Van looking for the end zone. Got Carey in the end zone. Contact down there. No flag. A lot of contact in the end zone.
And the coaches on the other side are really upset.
Brings up a 3rd down and 8. So 3rd down and 8 for the Bookers. James Van, who's been doing a lot of passing, will run with the ball, and that won't get it done because he'll be well short of the 1st down.
He only picked up about a yard, it looks like.
But it's 4-down territory, as you would expect at this point. They're going to mark his down progress at the 20-yard line, so they need to get to the, well, it's still 4th down and 8, so we got nothing. I got nothing.
I thought he got a spot a little bit better than that.
Yeah, it was hard to tell where he stepped out of bounds over there. So, needless to say, the Bookers will go for it. Now there seems to be some confusion. They finally get set, and a flag will come down. I believe we'll have a delay of the game, so that makes their chore just that more difficult. 3rd down and 4th down rather, and 13 now.
Dead ball foul. Delay game on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
So penalties have really hurt the Bookers tonight. They had 7 penalties for 70 yards in the first half. And these are just very bad timing for these. I think they're going to the end zone anyway, but still. You add another 5 yards to what you need to pick up. It makes it that much more difficult. Got a man open. Carey at the 10-yard line. That would be enough for a 1st down if he held on to the ball.
And they're saying he caught it.
9-yard line is where they'll mark him down, and that'll move the chains. 1st and goal for the Bookers. Get this chance from for the replay. Looked like a pretty good catch. I can't see anything that indicated otherwise.
Right at the 9-yard line.
And that will conclude a very lengthy 3rd period. But the Bookers are driving as we end the 3rd period. After 3, it's Hampton 35 and Booker T. Washington 6.
I want to thank our corporate sponsors. Oh, we got to go to Ron.
Yeah, let's go down to the sideline. Here's a little special from Ron Dayton.
You're watching the Hampton Crabbers on WHCS TV 46.
What's the recognition you want? Watch Channel 46. How come Baton gets that and Mike Nowinski never does? I think it's seniority, right? But I thank our corporate sponsors, Zooms, who has that Beantown Coffee, fried chicken, pizza, potato wedges, Krispy Kreme donuts. Tim picks them up as a box in one. Ham and cheese subs. Coke, and Tim said you can get gas at about $1.69 there at the corner of Woodland and Mercury. And, of course, the second half brought to you in part by Park Lawnwood Funeral Home, located at the Hampton Center Parkway and North Armstead Avenue. For more information, give them a call at 827-4670, where Nancy Staten is the manager.
The fourth quarter resumed. It'll be Booker T first down for goal from the 9.
So Booker T, as we start the fourth quarter, first down and goal at the 9-yard line. 12 minutes remaining in one team season. And throws incomplete. That was intended for number 87, Richard Simpson.
A big kid.
Hey, did I tell you when I was in
6'1",
Orlando?
225, what?
I saw Richard Simmons. Oh, yeah.
Oh, is he your idol?
My man.
Richard
Simmons.
Simmons.
Little sequin shorts and everything.
Get out of here.
No.
Really?
No.
Had on his shorts and everything?
And he was there.
Running around going crazy.
And who's the guy that used to do the Newlywed Game? The MC of the Newlywed Game? He was there. And he's about 65 years old now.
About your age?
No, about your age.
Oh.
Over the middle, knocked away. And, Bob Eubank. You're going to call defensive pass interference? That's an interesting call. Bob Eubank, yes, he was there. And then the last guy I saw there was the guy that in the old Chips.
Eric Estrada?
Eric Estrada was there, signing autographs for $10 a pop and grabbing all of them.
What did the PA announcer say?
Pass interference on the defense, half the distance to the goal, first down automatic.
What was it? I missed it. Do I want to hear?
The PA announcer said, I can't believe they called that. He had his mic open. And then they're going to say something. It wasn't me.
Yeah, he's not supposed to do that.
No, you don't want to incite. You don't want to incite. I know he didn't mean anything by it, but I got to tell you, I was surprised he called it too. But we have our a different audience. You know what? It's life, folks. Sometimes you say something you shouldn't have said.
And sometimes you don't turn off the mic.
We've been pretty lucky over the last 25 years.
We have a good editor.
In any event.
And there goes another Mike Smith.
Yeah, that's Mike Smith. He's gonna come up here and talk to the PA man, I think.
I think so.
Hey, you know what? Stuff happens. Well, let's see. Now, I didn't do it. Don't look up here, Dave. I didn't do it. He's looking up here rather sternly. No mas.
It's over here. It's over here. Wasn't here.
I think he knows that. In any event, I think I might have said it on tape. Can we see that replay? Do you still have that interference call? We'll watch it one more time. I don't know if we can see it all or not. Sure looked like, live and first run, it looked like a good defensive play. But, again, the officials are much closer to the play than we are.
And you can't go through the receiver. He ran right into Dominic White.
Baskerville gets nothing, in fact, loses yardage. Jason Baskerville. Yep, there's the call from Mike Smith. Seriously, he's got his cell phone down here and he's talking to Findolf as well. Second down and goal for the Bookers. Van feeling pressure, throws, and it is tipped and almost intercepted by the Crabbers. I believe he was out of bounds, so it wouldn't have counted anyway.
And that was one of the first few times that he has gone under center to make a pass and almost got sacked. He got a lot of pressure on him.
Yep. Here is your replay.
Watch the pressure right here.
Almost intercepted, but it would have been close to an out-of-bounds interception had he made the grab. Third and goal.
Back into the shotgun formation, gives him more time.
He's got trips to the right side. Now he's scrambling and looking, throwing in the end zone. Got a man, Don Carey, touchdown.
That's a good pass.
Carey with his second touchdown catch of the night, a 10-yard touchdown pass from Van. Six-yard, excuse me.
And these nice rollout right here to avoid the pressure.
Just kept the feet in bounds in the back end of the end zone. So the Bookers make the score now 35-12. But time is running out on them. They have 2 timeouts remaining and just a little less than 11 minutes in which to perform a miracle. We're going to go for 2 here. Van will just throw up a fade in the end zone, and it is almost picked off in the end zone. Incomplete, regardless, no points.
Score remains 35-12.
So 35-12 is our score as we're in the fourth quarter, believe it or not. The third quarter took a long time.
We started about a half hour later, and we're already a half hour over.
Well,
but when you got a lot of passes, you got a lot of stoppage of the clock.
That's what's been happening. A lot of passes, a lot of penalties.
A lot of incompletes.
Last we heard, don't have a final yet, but the last we heard was 57-21, I believe, is what I heard. That's the Phoebus 56-27, something like that.
You might see an onside kick here.
Well, I think you very well may, but they're going to squib it. Taken at the 15. And McPherson is leveled. That was number 56.
Yeah.
DeVario Graham making the contact. And McPherson, who's fumbled and lost 2 tonight, holds on to that one. You can see him guarding that ball, but good tackle by the Bookers. $17 yards on the return.
And McPherson comes out, and Fenner goes in at the tailback spot.
Hampton from their 32.
It's Jacoby with the ball.
And he fumbles the ball, and that is a Booker T. Washington fumble recovery.
Number 75.
So the Crabbers uncharacteristically coughing the ball up tonight.
Ramsey Rose.
Fenner, first time he touches it on offense, he coughs it up, and the Bookers are back in business at the Hampton 34-yard line.
A lot of time to go.
A lot of time, a lot of scoring to do, but a lot of time still on the clock. 10:42 remaining in the fourth. 35-12. See, that's a 23-point lead. That's a lot of points to try and score against a good Hampton defense. But you can't keep giving that ball up like that. Now we've got a late flag. I believe that's going to be a late substitution. Let's see, count some noses out here, Bob. We got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Only got 11 players. Illegal substitution against the Crabbers. I guess once the ball is, well, I don't know. Why can't you run an 11th guy on the field after the ball is set for play?
I don't understand.
I don't know.
Dead ball foul, substitution infraction on Hampton, 5-yard penalty, first down.
In any event, it's a 5-yard mark-off, so the first and 5 situation presents itself for the Bookers. Double wideouts to the near side and double wideouts to the far side. Looking down in the end zone, Thompson, the intended receiver, knocked away by Tyrod Taylor. Incomplete. So I think if you're looking for the 11 o'clock news, Bob, you may miss the beginning of it because I think we're going to see a lot more passing.
I have no doubt in my mind we're going to see a lot of passing.
As long as the ball is in the hands of the Booker T. Washington Bookers. Second down and 5. And looked like a couple of Crabbers might have jumped in the neutral zone, but they might have been drawn off. So let's see how they call this one.
The defensive tackle moved, but I don't think he moved until after the Crabbers were in the neutral zone.
We'll see how they call this one. It would be a first down if it's against Hampton.
That's who it is.
Yep. So that will be a first down because you've had 2 5-yard penalties, and even though you can't measure.
Dead ball foul, encroachment on the defense, first down, 5-yard penalty.
Hampton uncharacteristically making some. They got about 65 yards in penalties.
Van. And he underthrows drastically, and good coverage over there. I mean, the only one that could have even caught that ball, even a remote chance, was a Hampton Crabber.
And Brian Osink right in his face probably caused him to throw around him or, try to avoid throwing it where he would knock it down.
I think he threw it a lot sooner than he wanted to. Second down and 10. Ball is at the Hampton 24. Conyers and Thompson to the near side. Van throws to Thompson, and Thompson immediately taken down on a beautiful open field tackle by number 33 of the Crabbers. That is Jonathan King. And he timed that perfectly.
Watch this.
The receiver thought that since he never actually went down, he landed on the Hampton player, thought he might be able to get up and run.
Well, he should have been able to, but the whistle blew. So again, you got to go.
You know what I'm saying is his bottom ended up on top of a Hampton player, not on the ground.
And actually lost about a half a yard.
Yep. Third down. Van feeling some pressure, middle screen, got the ball completed to the 19-yard line. That was great. Check that 24 was Courtney Kroom.
Well, Tim, that really wasn't a screen. That was just a delay over the center. There was nobody in front of him blocking, but he just slipped right out of the backfield and just stopped. Or you see he was lined up deep in the backfield.
So now the Bookers will take a timeout with a crucial 4th down and 5.
I don't know how many fumbles that Hampton's had tonight, but it's very uncharacteristic of them fumbling the ball. 5 fumbles and lost 3 of them.
So this is a big turning point potentially in this game. You see Mike Smith and the Hampton coaches on the sideline with the Crabbers. If you get a first down, you keep your drive alive. If you don't get the first down, you can just imagine Hampton's going to try and run the clock out by keeping on the ground and running down the field. So this is a pivotal point.
We've seen that before, and Hampton put the ball up and scored.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. When you think about all the games we've seen over the years, about 12% of the time we've been able to figure out what's going to happen next.
12%. You're being real generous. You know that, don't you? How many passes?
37 attempts tonight, 17 completions for 161 yards for Mr. Van, the freshman quarterback for Booker T. Ball is marked at the 19-yard line. They need to get down to about the 14. And it is 4th down. Man looking the whole time for Don Carey and overthrows.
Yeah, he threw it out of bounds.
Yep. So Hampton will take over on downs at their 19-yard line. 17 of 38 now for Van.
McPherson and Harvey in the backfield. And
Taylor keeping the ball for a loss of about a yard. Hampton needs to sustain a drive here and wrap this game up. So far, the ball has been a slippery little pigskin for the Crabbers. They've had some difficulty here in the second half holding on to the ball. McPherson, and he gets just a couple of yards at best.
Number 24 making the stop. That's Courtney Kroom.
Making the tackle.
3rd down and about 8 for the Crabbers.
Yes.
23 carries for 205 yards for Tracy McPherson. Second in the Peninsula District in yardage to Elin Lewis, who we understand has had a big night for Phoebus. Taylor is going to look to pass, throwing for Todd Nolan. Caught the ball. It's a foot race, and he will not get caught.
They're not going to catch him.
Todd Nolan.
He put it in second gear.
78-yard pass for a touchdown.
He caught that, and he just went off in a sprint, and then he put it in, maybe it was overdrive, I don't know where.
They didn't want to have to pass it because they wanted to run the clock, but if you got to throw it, I guess that's the only way to do it. He was not going to be caught. 78 yards for the touchdown. 7:39 on the clock. Hampton 41-12 with Tyno on to try the extra point. Good job of getting a high snap down, but the kick is wide to the left. So the Crabbers extend the lead now to 41-12 with 7:39 remaining in the 4th period. Again, we remind you, next Friday night, we'll be back here. 7:30 is kickoff at Darling Stadium. It'll be Hampton and Phoebus, at least if we understand the score correctly out of Todd Stadium. It was 56-27 in the 4th quarter. I will go out on a limb and say I think Phoebus probably hold on to win that game.
Be an all Hampton City Finals, Eastern Region.
There's the twist. We're having a discussion out on the outside platform about the other side of the water and how superior their defense is and so forth on the south side. Not.
Thank you.
McPherson 201 yards on 21 carries, and Nolan 3 catches for 122 yards and 2 touchdowns on the night. 20-yard line is where it's taken by Thompson. Stutter steps to the right side, got some running room, got caught from behind, though, as he was still trying to figure out how to get that
Isaac
extra
Hill.
yardage.
Isaac Hill, number 87.
He's done a nice job on special teams.
He really has.
26 carries for 306 yards. Woodside 34, Phoebus 70.
Oh my goodness.
34 to 70. 100 points scored. Whoa.
Is that a final, Mike? 309 yards for Lewis.
Oh, shit.
Wow. Broke the state record, I understand.
and he's still running.
It's still going. It's not even over yet. 70 to 34.
Oh, wow. My. Not a whole lot of defense.
Well, I'm telling you, right now, Phoebus wants to go to the next level. They're going to have to bring their defense back to this game next week.
You're right there.
However, if you can score 70 points, it's kind of like, what is it, Kansas City playing Indianapolis,
well,
right?
And I can remember a basketball that Paul Westfield was, when he was coaching Loyola Marymount, and his thing was, we're just going to score more points. We're not going to play defense. We're going to score more points.
Outscore you. That's all they have to do, right?
Yeah.
That's the name of the game.
And we want to get a shot off every 15 seconds, I think, or something. I don't know what it was.
If I score more than you, I win.
Well, that's true.
That's the simple philosophy, right? So Phoebus just having an offensive explosion tonight in Newport News as they are way out in front of Woodside. 70 to 34 is the last score we had heard.
Well, Hampton is playing 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers, and 4 defensive backs. And so they hear they're running the ball. So they say, okay, we're going to give you a few yards. That makes the clock run. It's going to shorten the game.
Right.
But you're not going to beat us by throwing the ball.
No, and they'll run it this time. They'll be
and
just
we got a late flag
comes
coming in.
Real late.
That Mike said 15. I think it was about a 20-yard toss. I think that flag was 20 yards in the air.
That looked better than the pass.
I've seen a lawn dart that didn't go that far.
And it's holding.
So it was going to be, 4th and a foot? Now it'll be 3rd and
hold
long.
On the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat 3rd down.
10 penalties and 89 yards against the Booker T. Washington team tonight. Moves the ball all the way back to the 40-yard line.
How many yards they have rushing?
Not many.
They have more penalties than they have yards rushing, don't they?
Yes, they do. Yeah. So now it's 3rd down and 10 after the holding call. Van throwing. Thompson's got it, and he is level. The ball comes loose. They'll say incomplete pass. Thompson separated from the ball by Todd Nolan and company.
He was hit by more than one person at the same time.
That's why I said in company.
Did he have it long enough?
I'm curious to see it myself. I don't know whether he did.
The first hit came from Todd.
I'm telling you, he's not only a great
he catches
receiver.
the ball and gets hit himself. It must make him feel good to be able to return the favor.
It's got to be a lot of fun when you're a giver and a receiver. 4th down and 10. So Carey is on to kick. Not a bad looking punt taken at the 35-yard line by the aforementioned Todd Nolan. And he stumbles all the way to the 44-yard line.
He just couldn't get his feet underneath him, but he went about 6-7 yards with a hand down.
Here's your replay, and not a bad looking kick from Don Carey, and even nicer return from Todd Nolan.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good deal tonight.
So the Crabbers from their own 43, leading 41-12, 6:14 remaining in the ball game. And the Crabbers would just like to get these 6:14 off of the clock and get home and prepare for next week's game. Crabbers will be the host team. And now Mike Smith with some of the backups in there. This is Donovan Cotton, number 20, carrying the ball.
'84 comes in for the Crabbers. Bassett,
He's
just a sophomore.
The kicker as well. So a gain of 9, almost 9 on the play. Let's call it second down and a yard. There you see the scoreboard and the time remaining. McPherson is back in there. He'll get the call, and he's got the first down to the 45-yard line. It'll move the chains.
Have to be start thinking about our players of the game. You know, we got Samuel Green and Todd Nolan, Dominic White, Tyrod Taylor, Jacoby Fenner, Brian Osink, McPherson, Trace McPherson. You know,
Tracy
McPherson.
Yeah, a lot of good candidates. I have really been impressed with a lot of the defensive play tonight as well as the offense. And again, we want to make the fans aware of the fact that when we're picking our players of the game, we try not to be redundant week after week with the same players, because it's very easy to pick out the Tracy McPhersons. And there's a Tyrod Taylor who will get his touchdown right there. And that one, a 45-yard scamper by Tyrod Taylor. Taylor had one of 5 yards a little earlier. He just found a seam.
Yeah, he's just right there between the.
Got a good block.
That's right between Dominic White and who's on that side with White that's Brandon Vines, 55 and 50 and 66.
And Booker T has got to be winded because they have been on the defense a lot tonight. Their passing attack, because they're passing so much, they don't keep the ball all that long, and all of a sudden Ty Noah is having some difficulty finding the extra point.
He's pulling a little bit.
Yeah, each one has been pulling to the left. But it's of little consequence with the score 47-12. But the Bookers just have to be exhausted. I don't think they have a particularly deep squad to begin with. I was looking at their number of players over there, and they don't appear to have nearly as many as the Crabbers. And they're just worn down. Their defense has been on the field a lot, and that was really pretty evident on that last play. Not that Taylor's run wasn't a good one, but he caught some pretty tired Bookers down there. 47-12 rather. Taylor with his second touchdown had one from 5 yards, and he also had one now from 45. Nolan has had a couple of touchdown passes, one of 78 and the other one of 34. McPherson's got 3 touchdown runs tonight, one of 1, 4, and 50 yards to round out the scoring, and of course throw out that safety that started it all for the Crabbers back in the first period. It's been all Hampton ever since. Ball fielded and taken at the 32-yard line by the Bookers. That was Kroom who corralled that one. There you see it. 4s are wild on the scoreboard. 4:44 left in the ball game.
And 47.
47. First and 4.
They could have had 14, but they didn't get to 14.
Right.
So they only get 12.
Takes over, first and 10 from the 31.
Crabbers again will only have a 3-man front. And again, Booker T trying to take advantage of that. Lancaster as
that's a nice run.
First down as he is out to the 44-yard line. Gain of about 12. But again, you know, if you're Hampton, no problem. We'll give you 12. We'll let the clock run.
Yeah.
We don't, you know, we're up by, 35 points. We don't care. This is the prevent defense right now that you're seeing. And that is, and by the way, that's their first down by rushing tonight. So that tells a big story about their attack as well. And this is Lancaster again. No problem. We'll give you 4 or 5 yards. Let's just get out of here. But, you know, we've talked about this so often, Bob, and it's so evident, and forgive me for being so obvious. When you've got a team that has balance, the defense cannot key on it. So when you've got a running attack like Trace McPherson, we got a player shaking up on the field for the Bookers.
Well, not only McPherson, but Harvey and Taylor.
Right. So you've got the running attack but McPherson is clearly the superior
right.
runner there with over 1,500 yards. And then, so if you concentrate on him, then you've got Harvey catching the ball, and of course Todd Nolan, who is head and shoulders above any receiver I've seen on the peninsula this year.
If he doesn't make All-State this year, I don't know who does the voting.
And then you have the effectiveness of sophomore Tyrod Taylor's overall game. He can run and he'll hurt you. He scored 13 touchdowns rushing the ball this year,
right.
And he's thrown 15 coming into this game, and now I've kind of lost track. He's got
well, you know, he's
two to Nolan,
yeah,
so he's got
and then he ran one.
He's run 2.
So he's counted for 4 touchdowns tonight.
So you can't concentrate on any component, and that's what. Whenever you see a team that's done really well because they've got a running back that has 2,500 yards, but they don't have the complementary passing attack, then
right.
you got a real problem.
Well, that's number 52, Carlos Faulkner, 5'10", 260 senior, who is limping, being helped off the field, and let's just hope it's just a sprain.
McPherson on the night, 24 carries, 209 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Taylor, 4 of 7 pass for 152 yards. And Nolan, 3 of those catches, 122 yards and 2 touchdowns. Should be a good one next week.
Yes, it should be.
Antoine Thompson gets the first down with a gain of about 12 yards. Excuse me, not 12 yards, but rather about 8 yards. That'll stop the clock for a moment as they move the chains, and 3:36 remains on the clock. Dave Stollard gets the clock restarted rather quickly.
I don't think I'll miss the night news. I think I'll get home for the evening news.
You'll be home in time for the Jay Leno show at this pace. Real time is 10:20. This game is almost 3 hours old. There you go.
You buying, Scotty?
You want those eggs scrambled? This is Lancaster. He will step out of bounds at about the 42-yard line. So everything is decided here but the final score. And our players of the game, and we're picking them just from the Hampton side tonight, and a lot of choices. And let's talk about some of them. Samuel Green, just a tremendous night. Todd Nolan, another superior evening. We're already talked about Tyrod Taylor. We've talked about McPherson. Osink has done terrific. Fenner's had a great night on defense. Dominic White playing both ways, and this ball is picked off. And tripped up just as he gets across midfield. And what number was that, Bob? I'm trying to make out the number. 44?
84.
Okay.
84.
And that was the
Bassett.
Marquise Bassett.
First and 10 for the Crabbers.
Not to be confused with Jacqueline Bissett. And he'll never be confused for her.
No, I don't think so.
It's a nice pick. Another interception for the Crabbers. So, again, I want to make sure the fans understand we don't always go with the great offensive player of the night if he's already gotten this player of the game on several occasions. So our players of the game tonight, and no excuses for them, Samuel Green and Dominic White. Our players, co-players of the game, and this is Donovan Cotton getting the call for the Crabbers as Mike Smith is getting some of the players who don't get a lot of playing time in there.
He's 6'1", 210 junior. And the quarterback is number 1, Tony Adams.
Tony Adams, who is a senior. And a fumble, and Adams picked his own fumble up as the running back knocked the ball out of his hand on the exchange. And Adams alertly picked it up and picked up a couple yards.
And close to the first down. Not quite, but...
Waiting for the spot. Looks like it's third down and about a yard. Under 2 minutes remaining now. There you see the replay as Adams picked up his own fumble. And actually, there's a different quarterback now. This is Tevin Swan-Snead. Was it 1 or 11 that you had picked up on the quarterback? I think it was 11.
Was it 11? I thought it was number 1. That might be.
Yeah, Snead is the freshman who's the heir apparent.
Yeah, you're right.
Down the road. Of course, he's going to have to play behind Tyrod Taylor for the next 2 years, so that's tough for him. They I think it's a first down or not.
Well, Tony Adams is listed as a quarterback also.
They're going to measure.
And I'm sure I saw number 1.
It might have been. I just know that 11 is in there now. And I would have thought that if they were going to start, they wouldn't have alternated that quickly. We're going to measure for the first. I don't know. Killer might still be at Todd Stadium with 105 points scored. They might not be done with that game yet.
Well, not only that, he's probably still trying to add up the figures. And knowing Bob, if he didn't take his abacus with him, he might be in trouble.
Well, Oh, okay. You want me to announce that fact?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. Well, you sounded just like Bob for a minute there. What is that? The game with Phoebus and Woodside will be airing on Channel 46 Tuesday and Wednesday night. 7:15 will be the airtime for Woodside and Phoebus. That game done this evening by the Newport News School System. And they were going to share that with us here at Channel 46. So you'll be able to see that offensive explosion by the Phantoms at Todd Stadium tonight, and you'll be able to see how they did what they did to get to the next Friday night's matchup between Hampton and Phoebus. Oh boy, not again. I love it when these guys square off.
I love it.
In the playoffs, no less. I hate to see one of the Hampton schools go down to defeat, but one of them will next Friday night. So the Crabbers getting Justin Clemens in there, a junior running back, 5'9", 160-pounder. And the Crabbers do not have to run another play. They may choose to do so, but the ball has been set for play with less than 25 seconds. And the Crabbers will just simply let the clock expire and let this game be in the record books.
And that is the ball game.
So that is going to be the ball game as the Hampton Crabbers get their opportunity for the rematch against their not hated rivals. Is it hated rivals? I guess it is.
Not hated, but there's not a whole lot of love lost by either team. But I mean, it's a clean game.
Oh, they'll love it. They'll love it. But they both teams will love this. They play for this every year. All right, let's see. Tonight's game has been brought to you by Zooms, with 14 convenient Peninsula locations to serve you. And in part by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, where Nancy Staten is the manager. So that's going to do it for us. For Bob Hintz and Mike Hauser, this is Tim Cole. The final score, Hampton 47, Booker T. Washington 12. We'll see you next Friday night, 7:30 kickoff, Hampton and Phoebus for the regional championship. Good night, everybody.